It's time for At the Hops, the program that brings crafty songwriters and craft brews together for one intoxicating experience. And now, fresh off the wagon is your host, songwriter and avid beer consumer, Mr. Chaz E.
Welcome, everybody, back to At the Hops, the podcast that brings together craft beer and crafty musicians for one intoxicating experience. Let me introduce my good friend, my brother from another mother, the man who put North Carolina on the map, Mr. Mike Mitchell.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be back on the show.
It's good to see you, my friend. I'm going to be adjusting your...
You know, I was thinking the other day, why don't we do the shows and then leave and come back a week later? Why don't we just sit in one day and do about 52 shows back
we
to
could
back?
do it. We have
52 intros back to back.
And we even have material stocked up right now. We have some mobile interviews that have not been published yet. So we could have a remote guest.
Yeah, we bring in a bunch of beer.
We got taken
and
care
do
of.
52 intros.
52 intros. I like it.
That'd be a year's worth.
We were just talking today. Oh, before we go into that, let's just know that we're going to have on today 3 great beers, craft beers, and we're going to have a great musician by the name of Greg Troyan.
All right,
give it up for Greg. He's coming in.
Yeah, he's on the road right now, coming over to the show. Hey, Greg. Hey, you got your radio on?
Got the one and only glam rock band I know in Nashville. Love it.
It'll be the first glam rocker we've had on our show.
Absolutely, man. Good stuff. And we got 3 great beers. I'm not going to give away the titles. We got a top 6 list. We got all the good stuff. But we're talking now. Mike brought up something, and I said, let's start the show and kick it off with some literature discussion. You, out of nowhere, asked if I've ever read Lolita.
Yeah. Well, I just happened to
Nabokov.
pick it up the other day and was reading it, and I hadn't said to too many people that I was reading this book, but I knew that my main man Chaz would have read it or
I
heard
had
of it
years ago.
or actually lived it.
And I said, it was just funny because I said, weird subject, but just beautifully written. And you said that.
Oh, yeah, I could. That's exactly what I was thinking. This guy's such a great writer. Vladimir Nabokov.
Yeah, the words just kind of drip out of your mouth if you read it along. I don't know. I could hear someone's voice like who's crazy Hannibal Lecter? Anthony, what's his name?
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins reading that aloud, or Jeremy Irons, someone with just a great, perfect British voice.
And they travel all over the country,
Yeah.
And it reminded me of Jack Kerouac and On the Road.
Yeah, On the Road. And do you realize now when you go listen to Don't Stand So Close to Me, remember the song by The Police?
Right.
Which is about an inappropriate relationship with a teacher to a student. And there's a line in the book that says he starts to shake and cough just like the man in the book by Nabokov.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I think that's Lolita they're talking about.
And that was on his first solo album.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Oh no,
Stings
you're
or
right.
not?
It was
It's
the Police song. You're exactly right.
Yeah, good stuff. Good. There's a couple movie versions of it. One by Peter Sellers is in one, maybe, and then there's one with Jeremy Irons, who I just mentioned had a great voice. Should read it aloud. They're okay, but the writing of that book is amazing.
Yeah, really.
Well, just the
imagery,
language.
everything was great, and like you say, you just glide through it.
Yeah,
as you're reading it, and at the same time, you're thinking, this is a kind of a naughty guy here.
Yeah, you're reading it and you're feeling so. Maybe that's part of the seduction of it. You're feeling so like aloof and everything, being entangled in the language, but then the subject matter is him having an affair with this young girl, which is totally unspeakable.
Yeah, well, he's really obsessed with her. I think it's more than an affair. I think that's the point of the book. He's just engulfed with her. He loves her so much.
Oh, my Lolita!
But
have you
no
read...
excuse.
No, he's still.
She's 13.
Where are you in the book right now? Just curious.
Halfway through. Is he
married to her mom?
Oh, she
died.
She died, and so he takes.
Oh, spoiler! She dies.
Yeah,
we told
takes Lolita, on the tour of the country, and then he just enrolled her in school. in the all-girls school, and that's where I am right now. So, and I know he goes to jail.
I can't remember all the details. All I can remember is exactly what I said, my impression. I remember reading it, gosh, it's been probably 15 years. But I remember reading it and just being seduced by the language, basically. Yeah. It's just so well written.
Well, his character is actually telling the story while he's in jail. And, you know, you can...
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know, since I've not finished the book, I don't know how he got arrested. I can guess, but he is in jail, and he brings you to that time periodically through the book, and his lawyer talks with his lawyer. But anyway,
right.
what I thought was so cool though, when I mentioned that book to you, and then you said the exact same thing that I was thinking. What a weird subject, but a great book. The way it was written, I mean, this
absolutely uncanny that we both had the same thought. Beautifully written, crazy subject. Because you don't want to say, it's almost like you don't want to say, I love that book because of the subject. I mean,
great book.
And we kind of got into the subject too. I think you were reminded of it because we were listening to one of Greg Troyan's songs called, I want to make sure I get the title right. It's like Teenage Girlfriend, I believe it is. Let me get it up here. Yeah, Teenage Girlfriend. And Greg had written this song. Greg Troyan, our guest today, who'll be in to talk about it later, had written this song saying he's not sure why there's so many songs that talk about teenage love, because he goes, it's a little bit inappropriate at some levels. And I think that's why you thought of the book.
That led us right into Lolita.
And I think he's got a point. I mean, I've heard Adam Carolla talk many times about, remember that old song? It's like, a young girl, get out of my mind.
My love for you is a way out of line. Better run, girl. Yeah. You're much too young, Lolita.
Super inappropriate song, right?
Yeah, but it sold millions.
I know, yeah. It sold
It
lot,
was a
right?
huge hit.
For
who was the band? Gary and the Union Gap. Gary Puckett and the Union Gap.
I'll look it up right now. Let's see.
And they also had a big hit, Woman, and I mentioned that because the guy that wrote that song lives here in Nashville, and you can actually see him perform at many of the writers' nights.
Oh, really?
So when you pick out Gary Puckett,
Gary Puckett and the Union Gap,
and look real quick there while you're looking at their songs, and we'll mention the writer because he's known by a lot of writers here in town.
If they list who wrote it.
Woman is the name of the song.
Oh, Woman's the one that...
Yeah.
So not Young Girl.
Right, Woman.
So he graduated from the Young Girl eventually. Or did the Young Girl...
No, I don't think the two songs are related as far as who wrote the songs. This guy, and I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but he has a lot of local fans.
It's coming up. It's coming up. Is it Woman?
Yeah.
So twice. He had to say it twice to make sure people knew he wasn't into young girls anymore. Let's see. Jim Glaser. Sound right? Jimmy Payne?
Jimmy Payne. That's
Jimmy
it.
Payne.
Yeah. Jimmy Payne. Yeah. And he did not write Young Girl, by the way.
No. Okay. Gary Puckett didn't.
Jimmy Payne did not write Young Girl. There's no relationship between those two songs.
Okay, I'm just making a joke. Yeah. A guy named Jerry Fuller wrote Young Girl.
Yeah.
And Jerry Fuller is...
But Jimmy Payne, he plays a lot in these local writers' nights.
See if we get him on the show.
Why
not? If he's around town.
Yeah. We'd probably scare him, though.
Why is that?
I don't know. He's just not used to idiots like us. He's a little bit more down to earth. He's a nice person. I don't think he would want to be on our show. We could check it out.
We can always... Every once in a while we get a jerk on the show, don't we? Or have we?
Well, you have me every week.
And me, too. We should make a duo called, I don't know, like Dumb and Dumber. How would you do asshole and more
Danny
asshole?
Redwine and I used to be Beanie and Weenie. we actually had a little show called Beanie and Weenie. I was
like that.
I was Weenie. He was Beanie.
Did he wear a beanie?
No, we didn't wear anything except our normal clothes.
But still.
But I had
The name was there.
We had recorded a tape. It had everything. It was way ahead of its time. It was way ahead of At the Hops even.
Wow.
We had audience, the hand clapping like you had on there.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
wait. Like you did a whole show.
Yeah, it was one show that we taped, and when we needed applause, we got the Bangladesh album, and where the applause
took
the applause off and put it. But anyway, the tape it disappeared. After we did the thing, we continued to play and travel around, and somehow the tape disappeared. But it was really funny. Beanie and Weenie.
I like it, man. We should see if we can
Maybe
dig it
we could
up.
have Beanie and Weenie on the show sometime.
Well, we should have Danny Redwine on with you.
We should
one
do that.
time.
We
Can
should
you get
do
him?
that.
Is he in the area or
No, he's in Kingsport.
Kingsport.
But we could do a remote.
Let's set it up.
Yeah,
Will you
we'll
help
do
us
that.
set that up?
Yeah,
I love that idea.
yeah.
Ironically, I have a good friend of mine, Pete Hubsher, and Ed Danoff, two songwriters. Pete Hubsher does some great satirical stuff, and it's actually really well done too, produced. They want to do a show also. These are my two old roommates, which are both musicians, but both of these
Now,
we should go back in our
Ed was the
past.
guy. I met him at your wedding, correct?
Yeah, Ed was at my wedding, and I was just visiting both of them in D.C.
You were at your wedding.
I made it. I showed up.
I saw you there.
I'm surprised that the bride showed up, but we should do that. We should both get into our past a little bit. And Danny Redwine's still out there writing music, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We got to do two of them. Two remote shows. One with they were roommates of mine, but both of them have done songwriting and put music out there. And Danny Redwine was just a songwriting partner for you, right?
For a long time.
I shouldn't say just. He was. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he co-wrote Forget the Whiskey,
Oh, yeah.
Good as Gold.
Wow. All the classics.
Yeah, those classics.
Good stuff. All right, well, let's go in here. Since everybody's enjoying this so much, let's have a commercial.
And we'll be back with our guest.
Greg Troyan and Lipstick. Actually, just one of the members of Lipstick coming right up at the Hops.
Hey there, Mr. Chazzy. This is your old friend Jack from over on the West Coast. Listen, I just wanted to call you and thank you. I went to your site at thehops.com, and from there I discovered a link to audible.com. That's right, audible.com, where they have over 100,000 audio downloads to choose from. I can listen to all my favorite books, and that's good for me because I read about 1 million scripts a day, and after reading for so long, I'm just crazy. I don't have time to read for pleasure anymore, but with audible.com I can listen to my favorite titles. And for clicking through your link, Chaz, they gave me a 30-day free trial membership and one free audio download. Or maybe it's because I'm a celebrity. Who knows? Anyway, got myself a good book on beer. I could be a guest on your show soon. What do you say? I already got some musical talent. Here, let me get you a little sample. All work and no play. Yeah, makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play.
Click on the link at www.atthehops.com for audible.com, where you'll find over 100,000 audiobooks and more. Sign up for the free 30-day trial membership, and you'll get a free audiobook for your listening pleasure as well. All right, we are back. I hear the bottle caps are falling.
Immediately throwing things on the
I broke my
ground.
leg.
We got a full studio now. We got two fantastic guests and two real fresh voices on the Nashville scene today from the band Lipstick and other projects we have. Mr. Greg Troyan and Mr. Steve Smith in the audience. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
What a pleasure to have you guys. Listen, the audience is going crazy for you guys.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
They love you.
They know how amazing we are. Please,
love
just
you.
hold your applause to the end.
Yeah. You guys, probably the only glam rock project, if you want to call Lipstick, and that's the band name that you guys are both in.
Yes.
To make sure I get it all right. if you want to call it glam rock, I'm not sure exactly what you call it because it's a culmination of many things. But you guys are probably one of the few single glam rock units out here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, we're probably really the only glam band, at least visually, in Nashville. There's a couple other bands that have visual aspects of glam, like a great band called Fable Cry. And then there's some other bands like Black Shag has elements of glam in their sound. But really, we're the only glam rock band on the scene in the town.
Yeah. Do you find it's like, you said there's, of course, two others that you mentioned there. I love the name Black Shack, by the way.
They're a cool
great.
band.
It's a good name.
Friend of mine named Tommy Daly is in the band. They're kind of like T-Rex meets Black Sabbath, and it's a really cool band. The bass player, Amanda McCoy, actually used to play bass for a former Lipstick bass player's solo band. Okay. So we have that sort of connection, but if you play 5 Degrees of Separation in Nashville, you're connected to every band. So it's not even worth doing because everyone's connected to everyone. This town is so tiny. It's ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure if you play 5 Degrees of Separation, you're immediately in the Raconteurs.
Yeah, that's true. They kind of have a little history here too. But one thing you must have noticed is once you started doing this and networking with all these other people and one thing Mike and I have talked about is Nashville is so diverse in music. It is not just country music here. I mean, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. When I describe the Nashville scene to people, I try to tell them that there's not really a Nashville scene sonically. There's not a Nashville sound because each band, or at least each rock band, there's sort of a pop country scene. But as far as the rock bands go, each rock band really sounds different, and there's no two bands that sound alike in this town. So each band kind of has its own town. So there's a Nashville scene in the sense that there's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of people going to shows, and there's just a lot of support for fellow musicians and a lot of camaraderie and friendship. But as far as like a scene in terms of sound, Nashville doesn't have that because each artist is just sort of doing their own thing.
Yeah. And that's true, but it's almost underground because Nashville still has the reputation. I was listening to NPR the other day, and they were talking about Taylor Swift's new album. And how the
89, right?
Yeah, and how the people in Nashville will be upset with her because she left the country scene. So I think Nashville still has that stigma.
Really?
If that's the correct word, of being a country music town.
You guys never left the scene.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I agree with you guys. There's a lot of different kinds of music here, but I'm not sure that everyone in the country realizes that yet.
See, I'm excited for Taylor Swift going pop and just admitting it. I think pop is great. Pop is awesome. When Garth Brooks went pop for the Chris Gaines, I'm like, yes, this is great.
Yeah.
So all about that. Nothing against country, but, pop's amazing. Pop is great. Well-crafted pop is great. Like, there's a lot of garbage pop out there, but like a 3-minute pop song that's well-constructed. You look at the Beatles and how many amazing pop songs they had. It's all about...
pop group.
Yeah. Pop is great. Well-done pop is... perhaps my favorite kind of music.
I think the same. I've often said that it's harder to write within a spectrum that's going to please so many people than it is to just have, carte blanche and to write a song that's, like an art song. You can, not anybody, but, to make
you can play
it
anything you want in a noise rock band.
Yeah, exactly.
Super
Thank you,
easy.
Steve Smith. Yeah, you get a noise rock band, you can play whatever you want, and people can go, oh, you just don't understand it. But to actually take a 3-minute cut and to please a ton of people is not an easy task to do. And I know there's some songs that just get played a lot because somebody's put money behind it, but I like Taylor's new. I like "Shake It Off." It's fine with me. That's the new single, right?
I haven't actually listened to it.
Oh, we'll go listen to it at a break. We'll go listen to some Taylor.
But I liked her last couple singles, so I figure it'll be okay. Although what I love about Taylor Swift is that if you actually listen to her songs outside of the context of production, they are so typical of random singer-songwriters in Nashville. Like, We Are Never Getting Back Together. If you think about that as like a single girl playing acoustic guitar and just screaming about her ex-boyfriend, that is like every open mic night you see in Nashville. It's like, we are never ever getting back together. It's just it's so typical of this Nashville scene where it's really funny. It's masked in this pop production, but she, like, songwriting wise hasn't changed at all. It's just the production has changed.
So wait, does she have the single about how she left her small home in Oklahoma with nothing but her guitar and the lessons her grandpappy taught her about Jesus on her back to follow her dreams in Nashville?
Probably.
she was no clothes on either. But you guys just proved that with you guys just did an acoustic number for us, and I mean, you proved it. I mean, it was. I'm sure when you guys do the band live, it's kind of like a rock experience, but you just played it acoustically. And it was a perfect songwriter night song.
Yeah, it's got
Excuse me, guy.
It's kind of the epitome. That song was written with the sole purpose of let's write a catchy pop song, not because to sell out by writing a catchy pop song, but because we just appreciate the craft and the art. It's an art to write a pop song.
The core of a song.
And so to just, the goal was just to create something that was just a beautiful, catchy pop song, and that's what we did with it. And then when we play it live, we haven't recorded the song yet, but every time we play it live, everyone moves up to the front. The way it starts with all the girls move up to the front, and so all the guys follow them. Which
I
girls up there
want
better
to
go
learn
front.
that. I want to learn that song.
I know we've never had girls even show up at our show.
That's the marker. That's the marker. If you get all the girls to go up front, then all the guys follow them, and then everyone sings along to the song. After the first time they hear the chorus, they know the chorus because that's how good that chorus is. And so by the second time that chorus comes around, everyone's ready for it.
Yeah.
And just that anticipation, the way the build up to the chorus, it makes you want to sing along to it. It's gone over well every single time we played it. And so it's pretty much it's a mainstay in our set. We really can't get rid of that one because of how good the response is.
That's a great song.
Is it called Stop?
Yes, it's
Is
called
that the
Stop.
name? Just called Stop.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it the first or last word of the chorus?
Yeah, exactly. But it's there. And
Song's
I
actually
knew it
called
right
"Wait a Minute, Baby."
away. Yeah, but I mean, I knew it. I was singing along with it when you guys were playing it right away. Mike, you too?
Yeah, I thought it was the only part of the song I didn't like was when you were singing with them.
Should we go check that out? You guys' performance of that, and
Sure.
then we've
Yeah.
got 3 beers to check out too. If you guys, I know Greg, you don't drink.
Straight edge.
Steve, and you bartend too, which is ironic.
You got to eat when you can,
Part-time.
right?
Yeah, it's your catchphrase. Yeah.
Yep.
But Steve, you'll taste the beers for us.
I'll
with
drink
us.
Greg's.
Okay, yeah. We got 3 beers to check out, and let's go hear Stop right now. The acoustic performance they did. We'll come right back with Greg Troyan and Steve Smith of Lipstick.
Stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that I might have fallen in love with you. Stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that you might have stolen my heart. From the minute, the moment, the second I laid eyes on you, I knew it, I blew it, I knew there was nothing to do. You put me under your spell, as far as I can tell. Oh, please just wait for a moment, dear. I said stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that I might have fallen in love with you. Stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that you might have stolen my heart. I'm asking, I'm begging, I'm pleading, baby, please slow down. I wanna get to know ya, spend some time and hang around. You got me on my knees, I'm begging, darling, please. Just give me a little bit of your time. I said stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that I might have fallen in love with you. Stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that you might have stolen my heart. Stolen my heart. Stolen my heart. Please wait, baby, just for a moment longer. Baby, I think I love you. I think I need you. And baby, hold on. Stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that I might have fallen in love with you. Stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that you might have stolen my stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that I might have fallen in love with you. Stop. Wait a minute, baby. I think that you might have stolen my heart.
And we're back. We're back online, back with Greg Troyan and Steve Smith, and of course Mike Mitchell. He's pouring our first beer tonight, which I got in honor of Greg and Steve being kind of rock and rollers. This is the Trooper from Robinsons Brewery in honor of Iron Maiden, and the Trooper, which I think was from the album Number of the Beast. I think that's officially their third album.
Yeah, it's the third record.
Right? I already skipped a step and smelled it. I was always a big fan of Paul Di'Anno myself, the early years of Maiden.
Oh yeah, Paul Di'Anno's my favorite vocalist for that band. Although I think the Trooper might be on their fourth album. I think that might be Peace of Mind.
I thought it was Number of the Beast. No,
No,
we'll look it up.
No, Number of the Beast had, I think, Run to the Hills.
Yeah, Run
and had Number of the Beast, and then Peace of Mind had the Trooper.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, I forgot. It's been too long with my mate, but I guess I stopped after Paul Di'Anno too much. After like Killers and Made in Japan.
Yeah.
And man, Greg, I should have it. I had his biography, Paul Di'Anno's, and I loaned it as a friend in Chicago. If I get it back, I'm bringing it to you. It's a mess of rock and roll craziness. Paul Di'Anno's book, The Beast, it's called. He did everything that rock and rollers are, expected to do. Like take too much drugs, sleep with too much women, fight with too many people.
Everything you're absolutely...
Sounds like fun.
You're supposed to do as a rock and roll, not supposed to do as a decent human being.
Yes. But it's enjoyable reading, and it's probably on a third grade level. You can read it in one night.
I also love that we're
You
talking
can read
about
it to your
Paul
third grader in one night.
Yeah. I love that we're talking about Paul Di'Anno with this really sexy bass line going on in the background.
And it's reminding us of our steps. We're supposed to look at our beer. We're supposed to look at this first and describe it. And Steve's doing the tasting in honor of Greg. But let's look and see what we say about the color and the consistency. Any observations there?
It's a nice middle of the ground sort of amber. It's a little,
I like that.
A little cloudy when you look at it really closely, it seems.
Extremely carbonated.
Yeah.
A lot of bubbles coming up. Mike, what do you think?
I think I'm ready to try it.
You're always ready to try. We're always ready to
Just
drink.
skip ahead in the steps. Go.
Sometimes we do. I mean, once in a while you get impatient. But I think that's a good description. Let's go to that second step, which is...
Sniffing.
Your perfume just drives me crazy.
There you go.
How do you guys time that? That's impressive.
That's
I
kind
know,
of
we've been doing this a while.
That's kind of sweet.
It's a good
Yeah, it's
malty
very
sweetness. Right?
sweet.
Yeah, real sweet malty cereal type smell. I
Sweet
think.
Virginia.
See,
Greg,
it's been-
you can smell it.
Yeah.
Right?
You can look at it and smell it.
You
Yeah,
could be a
and as a
non-drinker and
bartender-
still sniff.
That's right. Exactly. You don't have to dive in to
There
get the
you
smell,
go.
right?
There you go.
But that's about it. It's a real sweet malty. I don't know. It smells like cereal or something to me. I'm gonna do it one more time. Yeah,
Frosted
very sweet.
Flakes?
Frosted Flakes. Yeah, the secret formula.
It started wafting pretty heavily as soon as it was poured. So the actual sniff stage is like, well, all right, you can smell it from across the room.
Let's hit that third one. We heard it.
What is that, a taste?
Let's have a taste. Cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
Welcome and thanks for coming. Hey, it's a real sweet beer.
Yeah, it
Yep.
is.
Very sweet. Wow. What else do you want to? Any other words
No
about
thanks.
this one? Greg, say no thanks.
I've got my water.
All right, that's right.
I didn't expect the
hydrogen
trooper to be so
dioxide.
sweet.
Yeah. Right? You'd think the trooper would be like a really fast and aggressive kind of beer.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not
A
sure what
little
you do to make beer fast. Probably more carbonation.
So really,
Yeah.
this should be like a Cyndi Lauper kind of beer. It's like
Right.
it's all just
Yeah,
sweet, like
it's-
cereal.
Yeah. This is kind of a wussy type.
It's more
beer.
like a mall
bit. Let me
pop
taste
beer.
it again. Let me taste it again. See.
More like Wham or George Michael solo beer.
There you go.
Yeah. Wake me up before you drink,
Or after.
or after.
Now that's a song.
This, there you-
It sounds like a country song.
Yeah.
It tastes just like it smells.
Yeah.
Let me see if they say anything about it. They say it's which is handcrafted at Robinsons Brewery. Malt flavors, citric notes. I don't taste any citrus in this. Do you guys?
Nope.
Not at all. They say there are notes of citrus. Goldings and Cascade hops dominate the deep golden ale. That was pretty good deep gold. You said that, Steve. Pretty well. Subtle hint of lemon. Do you get a hint of lemon?
I don't.
It has a mouthfeel kind of like a citrus would have, like
Yeah.
with the little bit of a acidity you might get with a lemon juice or an orange juice or something. But
I'm not getting.
but I think most beers have that to some extent.
Yeah, you're right. And it says Bruce Dickinson helped to develop this beer with Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden, of course. Award-winning brewery, Robinsons Brewery. I don't know. It's tastes to me. It's kind of like just in the, it's a sweet kind of ale, and that's about
Kind of
it.
a blah. It's a
Yeah.
blah beer.
It's an all right beer, probably not worth the licensing fee to have Iron Maiden's name on it.
Yeah, the bottle is a lot more exciting.
Yeah, the bottle
we're
is
gonna rate it
awesome.
later. Look at that bottle. I should take a picture of you with it. We'll do that. We'll do it. So tell me, guys, and Mike was just asking how you guys met and how lipstick kind of came about to be. That's got to be a big story.
You want to feel this one? I've been,
Sure, all right.
dominating.
So both of us are sort of regulars at the Cafe Coco open mic on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, great place.
And so we ended up running into each other there. And so I'm terrible at names and faces and promptly forget all of them. So the way Greg tells it is he came to the open mic once and saw me playing some of the Regdar and the Fighters stuff and was like, this guy's pretty cool. And we started hanging out, and then he didn't have a bassist in his band after a while, and he was like, I need a bassist. We're like, I don't have anything better to do. Sure, I'll join your band.
Let me ask you a question about the Cafe Coco. Do they still, on their open mic nights, take the first 20 people that come in? You got to be in line. And
I think
is
it's
that the way they
I
still
think
do
the
it?
first 12. First
Oh,
12,
first 12.
you have to be in line, and everyone gets 2 songs.
Yeah,
Can be
so-
originals or covers.
And they're turning people away still?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. The last time I was there, I was number 13. I didn't go back.
Oh, man.
Aw.
Unlucky 13.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
the trick is to just sort of like show up early at like, I think Simon said something, so show up at like 6:45 and just hang out by the
Yeah.
sound booth.
Yep.
And just be the first one there. And just
I
sort of
did, I did like
linger around
playing there, though. The audience is great.
Yeah.
They are really open to, different things.
That's a place, with variety. Sorry, Greg, go ahead.
I was saying, audience there is great, and I love working with the sound guy there, Cody. I'm actually in a couple different musical projects with him. I'm in a band called The Manpower, which plays like a lot of anime conventions, which is where I ended up meeting our mutual friend Eric Stewart when I was gigging with Manpower, where I'm actually bass and partial lead vocals in that band. And then we're in another band, which I'm also in with Steve, called Snake Vomit. Snake Vomit, which is actually on the wall. There's a picture of Snake Vomit on the wall at Cafe Coco.
We could have each of your bands on, for different weeks. We could have.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure you'd want Snake
Right, you're
Vomit.
just booked
Yes,
up for the
you
next
do.
2 months.
Well, you said, and now we're kind of getting carried away from you guys just meeting, but Snake Vomit is almost like I don't want to say a joke band, but you guys try to play like
It's kind of
to
a
the
joke
point of-
band. The idea behind the band was, look at all the terrible bands we were in high school. What if we did that but on purpose? So we intentionally sound terrible. We write down song titles on a napkin. We don't practice. We don't tune. We just get up there and make noise, but people get it. And like, because there's so much talent in Nashville, someone doing intentionally bad music and making fun of like the craft music and the pretentiousness music and just be terrible for the sake of being terrible.
That sounds like when we play.
yeah, I know that's exactly it.
I think you guys stole that from us.
Except for we don't have napkins even to write songs on.
We have to pay
Writing
you,
on our arms.
pay you a nickel for the copyright.
I'll be fair. We've upgraded from napkins for our proper set lists. Our vocalist Cody, the sound guy from Coco, he has a full body bear costume with a giant head that's probably about 3+ feet across. And so he just mounts his microphone and a flashlight and his set list inside his bear head and just wanders around on stage as this giant bear and shouts out the song titles from there.
I love it.
There was one night where we were in a band where we were doing a night where I was doing like triple duty, where I was in this band called Chris Davis and his K-pop All Stars, which has since changed their name to Night Sabers, and Lipstick was playing and Snake Vomit was playing, and I look around and I realize I'm playing in 3 bands, and all 3 of those bands incorporate characters and mascot costumes as part of their stage show. Snake Vomit has the bear costume. Chris Davis has a Jake the Dog costume, which I'm actually wearing a Jake the Dog shirt right now.
Okay.
And Lipstick
We'll get a picture of it.
has our mascot, the legendary Mr. Cool. So awesome cat wearing sunglasses who comes out and throws balloons at people and has a great time.
Let's see that shirt.
Are you ever
Yes.
afraid of the three bands meeting and you know find out that you're cheating on the other two?
What I do is I have all of them. I live in a slum, and I keep each of them in a different room in the slum apartments, and so that way they just
He's literally describing the plot of an anime right now.
Well, I hope you don't get caught.
Man, I don't know if we left where you guys met, but wait, one thing I gotta ask you about.
They
is,
said they met at an open
Yeah,
mic
yeah,
at
so that
Cafe Coco.
Yeah, how I met was
That's
I saw him playing this tiny short scale bass that was tuned to DDAD. It was actually a combination of bass and guitar where he's just playing power chords on it. And the tone he has is like, I think to myself, this is the worst tone I've ever heard in my entire life. And just like, it's weird, it's insane. And I'm just like, this is just weird, but the songs were catchy. Where even though the tone was weird and the instrumentation was weird and he looked really goofy, the songs were there. The songs were so good. And I said, I love these songs. And so I bought his solo CD, and it had a song about a British sitcom called Red Dwarf. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show.
Red Dwarf, no.
It's a sitcom where
In space.
it's a sitcom that takes place in space where the protagonist is the last human alive, and it's 3 million years since all the other humans have died. He's just sort of lingering out in space being bored. It's a great sitcom. It's like an insane premise for a situational comedy, but that's the premise. And so he wrote a song about it on his album, and that just made me respect him more. And I actually thought he was too cool for me and didn't want to hang out with me. But eventually...
That's what he told me.
Right.
But eventually...
Sure. Thanks.
Take another. Didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just handing
No,
more,
yeah.
more of the trooper
More
to
the
Steve.
trooper. But yeah,
Keep
so
going, sir.
I didn't think he would want to be in that band because he's into like a lot of new wave stuff and a lot of pop punk stuff, and so I didn't really think he'd be into being into a old school classic kind of hard rock band.
Yeah.
And but he said yes, and initially he thought that we were kind of just a standard cock rock band, and thought like, oh, these are all like, you know, douchebaggy songs about like getting laid and partying.
I honestly probably realistic planned on playing maybe 2 shows before I was like, all right, that was fun. I think it's time to move on.
But then eventually I said, no, that's not what we're about. Lipstick doesn't have any songs about sex. We have love songs like the Beatles, but I wanted to avoid falling into the cock rock trap because no one takes that stuff seriously. You look at it and you laugh at it and you treat it as a joke. And so we decided to not play that game and not even bother with those kind of songs. So when we write a song about romance, it's more approached from that Beatlesy 60s, almost innocent perspective on romance, where it's not as sexualized.
How about Love of Some Kind?
Oh man, that song,
Real special song, right?
I'll let you start that one.
So Greg is engaged right now. Sorry,
Yeah,
ladies.
congratulations.
He is taken.
Yeah, sorry.
This can't be good for our
All the
career.
ladies in our audience. Yeah,
Those ladies sounded about 8.
well, I know they did, but they're young, but they still like beer. And rock.
It just gets worse and
It
worse.
does, doesn't it?
It's okay. They may be young, but they still like beer.
Yeah.
They can't buy it themselves, but that's what I'm here for.
Oh, we're talking about Teenage Girlfriend already?
Oh,
Oh yeah, we haven't gotten to that song. We gotta get to that. But let's talk about Love of Some Kind a little bit.
So
yeah.
So Greg had this whole elaborate scheme for proposing to his girlfriend. It involved Dragon Balls and hiding the ring somewhere, and that just didn't pan out. And so it was like, all right, well, how am I going to get engaged now? And it's like, when should I give her the ring? I was like, well, no, you have to. And I said to him, you have to step up your game now. Your last thing didn't work. You need to come up with something bigger and better. So we planned, we were playing a show, and like 2 days before the show, he showed up and was like, all right, I've got most of a song written to propose to my girlfriend with. And so we sat down, we finished the rest of the song, and we talked to the rest of the band. We're like, all right, you guys are going to clear off, and we're gonna get up there and we're gonna play this acoustic song, and in the end he's gonna give his girlfriend the ring. But he didn't tell her that was what he was doing. She just knew that he had written her a love song and was gonna play it that night. So she didn't know that
She didn't even know that the song was going to be played that night.
Oh no.
No, she didn't. She didn't know about the song at all.
Oh man, so she's surprised by a song and then surprised by a ring. And then I went behind Greg's back and flagged down the rest of the band. I was like, guys, all right, we know that we said we're going to do this song acoustic. He's totally going to propose with this. He's going to be distracted for like 30 seconds while he makes out with his now fiance. The rest of you sneak up on stage, grab your instruments, learn the chorus, and we're going to just rock the last chorus, and we're going to make Greg cry, and it will be beautiful.
But the trick was I cried during the first verse.
Yeah, he started crying immediately as soon as the song started. He actually like really got his composure back together. As soon as the rock kicked in, he was like, "Oh, I know what I'm doing now." Yeah!
Yeah, it's weird. As soon as I remember, I did like a quick like split second take. Like, wait, what's going on? How does the rest of the band know the song? And then I said, whatever, screw it. And then just jumped in and did the last chorus and just completely just finished the song and rocked it out.
Were you prepared if she would have said no?
She wasn't going to say no.
He knew.
Hey, the guy was
like the
confident.
confidence,
Yeah,
yeah.
confident.
He's from a legal background where you don't ask questions you don't know the answers to.
A legal background.
Yeah, I actually have a degree in paralegal studies and do some freelance
know that.
paralegal work on the side.
Wow.
Wow.
I could use it for my divorce.
So part-time bartender.
I might use you in the
part-time
future.
Well, see, the
Did you
trick.
get married at a brewery? You could use them for your wedding too.
See,
true.
So really,
Could have been there.
I could have done the wedding and the divorce proceedings. for
Yeah.
So
I haven't gotten
when
divorced
are you
from the
getting
last
married?
one.
When are you getting
Yeah,
married?
when you get...
you. We're probably looking at early 2016, probably spring 2016. So,
okay. So a
Take-
long engagement.
we're
It's okay.
taking our time, just waiting for everything to just be. We're not rushing it.
Hey, you got to take your time.
Yeah.
There
Why
you
not?
go.
Why
Yeah.
not?
Oh. I knew somebody that waited 20 years.
Who was that?
I don't know. I don't know him anymore.
Man, the more I drink this beer, it's really sweet. I keep getting I feel like I'm drinking apple juice or something.
Yeah, it's kind of blah, I think. Kind of weak.
sweet and blah.
Sweet and weak.
Not like you guys. What do we get on time? Man, there's all kinds of stuff we got to talk about. We have a top 6 list tonight too, but we'll do that too. Before we go to that, I do want to say though, and this goes with Love of Some Kind too. I mean, a lot of people think of, like you said, Greg, like glam rock music or just rock of any kind, and you do a really theatrical show, real theatrical show. Some people might not think it's serious. Your show is ultra serious, and the themes to your songs, you're very serious about everyone. And I'm thinking of things like Fight Back, which you wrote me some of the backstory to that.
Right.
And gosh, you were talking about the theme to that show that you did without guitars. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Because you included also your future son-in-law on that too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually we did. So for the last Lipstick show, Lipstick we're a hard rock band. You look at us and you can clearly hear influence by bands like Thin Lizzy and Boston. 70s hard rock is where we come from. And we had a show where we just didn't have a guitar player. We have a bunch of guys who sort of fill in the guitar player position, rotating. We have one permanent guy. But the permanent guy, his name's Eric Penikoff. He just had his first kid. And so he just couldn't do our last show. He just wasn't able to make it. He's like, I've got a kid. I've got to get the kid home from the hospital.
Yes.
And so understandably, he missed the gig. And everyone was busy. So what we did was we used the instrument that Steve plays in his other band, Regdar, with the instrument I saw him play with at the open mic, that weird short scale bass tuned to DDAD, which is a combination of bass and guitar, where it uses, one bass string and 3 guitar strings?
One bass string, 3 guitar strings, yeah.
And so he's just playing nothing but power chords on it. And what we did was we had him play all the rhythm. We had a drummer. So Steve was playing all the rhythm parts on that. And then I still had my wireless microphone because I run around with a wireless microphone for Lipstick. But for the solos, I jumped over to a keyboard and just did solos on keyboard. So I still would run around and do my normal thing. But then for solos, run over to the keyboard, set my mic down on the music stand, and then just do a quick solo. And so what we did for that, we have a Lipstick movie that we shot a couple years ago that we're finally getting around to editing and finishing and releasing. And there was a bad guy in the movie named Doubt, who is sort of like the manifestation of all of humanity's doubts, fears, and anxieties. Just like, evil dude whose form can shift and morph. And it's like we're in one of those vaudevillian, frightening masks that you see in parties and stuff. And so he cast a curse upon the night. The villain from the movie cast a curse upon the night, banishing all guitars from existence, only for the next 30 minutes. So theoretically, we could have just postponed the show for 30 minutes.
Oh, that's true.
If you paid attention to the plot. But
Don't look for plot holes
Don't
there.
look
You'll
for plot
find
holes.
them.
Come on, it's all right.
And so Steve and I get on stage. We're like, what are we going to do? He destroyed all the guitars. And so then my future stepson was dressed in a Batman costume. So we had the Batman March play, the Batman theme song from the 1989 Batman movie. And he comes up on stage and hands the abomination to Steve, you know, saying that he invented it and whatever. He gets off stage, like spreads his wings. And then we thank Batman for saving the day. And then we played the show. And the crowd ate it up. Like the applause was gigantic. Like everyone was super into it and totally involved and invested in the story. And that's the kind of theatrical stuff we do where,
Love it.
you know, we do stuff like that. And then we have our mascot, Mr. Cool, come out and we have songs about like Mr. Cool's ex-girlfriend. So like, it's sort of like, you know, there's the real us, but there's also the superhero us. Then we sort of mix writing songs about both. And so there's this weird canon with Lipstick where it's a lot like Kiss, where they've got the comic book version of Kiss and the real Kiss, and the two sort of blend together. But unlike Kiss, we incorporate a lot of that stuff into our songs too. So
Yeah.
it's a blending of real life experience, but also a little bit of that fantasy aspect into the songs.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail in your songs. I mean, and I just noticed whether it's the true stories like in Fight Back, or if it's references to Fight Club, or there's H.P. Lovecraft. There's a lot of detail in what's going on with you guys, and I think that's got to be acknowledged and respected. How much time you put into the show, you know what I mean? It's when I heard you telling that story, it was you were telling it to Eric Stewart, and I just happened to overhear it. I couldn't help but eavesdrop. I was like, this show sounds amazing.
It was a great show. The fun thing about that show is, even though we didn't have guitars, it still sounded like Lipstick. As crazy as that sounds, like, what you mean a hard rock band still sounded the same without guitars? It still sounded like the band with all the different lineup changes we've had. It always sounds like Lipstick, and I'm always really impressed with that, because Lipstick was sort of like my dream band from high school, where I worked really hard for years on, you know, refining all my influences into one sound and making that sound like a certain band. And so when you hear a Lipstick song, it sounds like a Lipstick song. It's weird, with even different people playing it, it still always has that same vibe and spirit and energy to it. And I'm really impressed how we were able to do that even without a guitar player. It still sounded like Lipstick.
Yeah. Let's hear a song off. We could play a song off the Lipstick CD, right?
Yeah.
And which you guys have one in particular you want to do?
Well, probably the song we're talking about playing was a song called Rock and Roll Forever. We close every show with it. It's one of our big songs. If you come to a Lipstick show, you would expect to hear that song. It's actually one of the few songs that's actually
Mike, I'll take a picture.
It's done well with some of the record label people that we've talked with. And so that's sort of one of our big singles, one of our big songs.
Okay, Rock and Roll Forever. And we also have Steve's CD here too, which is the Regdar and the Fighters. Yeah, I'm not saying it right, am I?
Regdar.
Regdar.
I think. I stole the name from Dungeons and Dragons, and they don't include a pronunciation guide in the player's manual.
Oh, really? Regdar?
Yeah.
That's where it came from?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's one of the sample characters. He's the sample character that the designers of the game didn't want to include, but the executives said, we need the fighter to be a white man. And they're like, we've already got this dwarven character to be the fight. All right, fine. We'll make another fighter, I guess.
So we'll get a song off that one later? Or
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's now Rock and Roll Forever, right?
Yep.
We'll do that from Lipstick, and let's check it out. And we'll get to our second beer of the night, which I think it's going to taste a lot better than the last one. Not that I'm going to, tell you anything about my opinion on it. Okay, let's not rate it yet to the end. All right, let's go to this. Rock and Roll Forever.
Something fun, anthems of freedom for the young, and die. Rock and roll forever. Let's defend her together. She will never die. It has many different sounds, from Megadeth to Brown. So many different styles can never grow old. Rush, Manowar, and Green are all just the same to me. It's what makes you feel good inside your soul. Rock and roll forever. Let's defend her together. She will never die. Rock and roll forever. Let's defend her together. She will never die. Overdrive, yeah! That is rock and roll. Ho! That is rock and roll. Freedom! That is rock and roll. Love! That is rock and roll. Ho! That is rock and roll. Freedom! That is rock and roll. It's whatever you want it to be, yeah. Rock and roll forever. Let's defend her together. She will never die. Rock and roll forever. Let's defend her together. She will never die. People, it doesn't matter if it's punk or if it's metal, rock or blues. All that matters is that it puts a smile on your face and lifts up your soul. People, like Paul said, we have been given a gift. We have been given a road, and that road's called rock and roll. And it's never gonna die. For those of us that believe in a better tomorrow, for those of us that believe our best days are ahead of us, that's our music. It's music for dreamers. Are there any dreamers out there? Are there any dreamers out there? Well, let me hear ya, because it's a beautiful day to be alive.
All right, we're back. We're back after Rock and Roll Forever. Good stuff, man. Good sounds. Killing guitar playing. And just good, I mean, just good rock. I was saying to Greg, it reminded me kind of 80s Iggy Pop, but you said that wasn't an influence.
No, that one was pretty much, I guess that one was sort of a Journey influenced song right
Yeah,
there.
you said Journey.
So it's basically Journey, but without the ability of Steve Perry's vocal range. So that's why it sounds like Lipstick.
Or without the, I don't know, Journey without the, I don't know, soft side. It was like the hard side of Journey. Early Journey.
Yeah.
Like,
But not like super early Journey when they were like a jazz rock band.
No,
like
exactly. Like Any Way You Want It.
Right, yeah.
Early Journey.
Like Journey when they were trying to rip off Thin Lizzy Journey.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And now we're into the second beer called Cyclops IPA from Cascade Lakes Brewing Company out in Redmond, Oregon. So we're going to take a look at it. It looks almost... No, it's lighter than the rat. I thought it was...
It's a little lighter, but it's very a little more carbonated too.
You're right. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to see through it. Another foggy one.
Oh yeah.
Definitely foggy.
Light and foggy.
Light and foggy, light head, not foamy at all. Just kind of little sudsy bubbles on the top. Let's take a sniff. And yeah, man, this is already going to be an improvement over the last one to me. Right. I can smell the hops coming out of that one.
Yep.
Right away. How about you guys?
Indeed.
Definitely more bitter.
Yeah, definitely. Still sweet, but I mean...
It's getting bitter all the time.
That's what they say. But I'm liking the smell of it already. We can taste it, guys. You don't have to wait too long. Let's drink up. Cheers. Once again, good to having you guys here.
Now that is bitter.
Yeah.
That is.
Now that's got the lemony taste.
Yeah, I can feel that drying out my mouth.
Wow, yeah.
That's good. I like my beers to taste like they don't like me back.
And yeah, no, I'm with you, Steve. It's got the lemon. It's got the
I like my beers
grapefruit.
like I would like my women.
Substantial gravity. Cornucopia, 5 hops in this one. That's why. Man, I get both lemon and grapefruit in this one. Yeah.
Definitely.
Everything. This is a real, if you like the bitter type thing, this is going to hit you right in the, smack you in the
I
mouth.
could do this for
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah.
It's a
why
breakfast
not?
IPA.
They should have breakfast IPAs, right?
I'd say they do.
What do they? Well, I guess we can have one. We just got to drink
Yeah,
one.
just
right?
open it up.
Just open it
Go
up.
for it.
It's easier than a grapefruit.
I feel like the breakfast beers are usually more like the oatmeal stouts, right?
Oh,
Like you
yeah,
start
that
with the
makes
cereal-based
sense.
grain.
And then work your way to an IPA. Or you could.
Or a ham and egg beer.
Do they have that?
I'm pretty sure I've seen bacon-infused beer.
There you go.
I think so too. This one's all right though. It's a little bit. I don't know. It's a little. It's a different kind of. I'm just drinking more. Different kind of bitterness, but you
It's
get all
a
that
very citrusy bitterness.
real citrusy. Well, we'll wrap up the judgment later on it. Let's talk about some more of the songs. Steve, you've got your own album out too that we
Yep.
brought out here. Hold on.
Somewhere in these stack
I
of
can't
things.
remember the name because it's complicated for me. Regdar and the Fighters.
There you go. That's it.
Spoiler alert. And I've read the name like numerous times and I still can't remember it. Oh, this doesn't have. Oh, but you have Rats on the Walls. That's the H.P. Lovecraft one you have. I was going to say, I know there's references to Lovecraft in
Yep.
this, and also Teenage Girlfriend we were talking about, but that's not on here. Teenage
No,
Girlfriend.
that's on our earlier album, Flight of Malibu.
What's your big Lovecraft reader?
Yeah, I'm actually working my way through the complete Lovecraft fiction right now,
Oh, you
which
got
is
two
a
for him.
hefty book. Yeah, I've got Call of Cthulhu on there too. I really like Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Sort of. I like parts of it, the parts that aren't really tedious, and the parts that aren't really racist. When it's not like that, then it's great.
I know he had a lot of racist material. In
Oh yeah,
his
like
books.
Rats on the Wall, the song in there. One of the MacGuffins in that story is
Yeah.
a cat who's got the N-word in its name.
I've forgotten about that, and I've read Rats on the Walls. I
Yeah.
remember reading that story. It's been years though.
That's why
When
the
was it
lyric,
written?
like in the 30s.
I was going to say
Oh, okay.
20s, 30s, yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. But his stories have become, and they've spawned some really
Yeah.
goofy films too, like Reanimator.
Yeah, man, Reanimator is great.
It is a great movie though, for its.
Just came out with a John Dies at the End. Just came to film like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and that's very much a sort of comedy modernist take on Lovecraft tropes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But you've got quite a bit of conceptual stuff in here. Both of you guys are
Yeah.
conceptual artists, which I think is. I miss that a lot. I miss the day where an album was a concept.
Right.
I mean, you guys had to have been fans of that too.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Like
my
The Wall is one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, like The Wall.
music
That's
from
right.
The Elder is one of my favorite albums because I have terrible
Yeah.
taste.
Oh, it's not terrible taste. Talk a little bit about Greg, I brought this up earlier, and I want to hear it again because the story really resonates when you told it to me by way of email. But the story behind the song "Fight Back," really amazing story.
Well, Fight Back is a song that I wrote years ago. A lot of the stuff on the debut Lipstick album is stuff I wrote in high school. So that's like 16, 17, 18, just the material I was churning out. And when I was coming to decide which tracks to record for the album, Fight Back was on the short list. But I decided to leave it for the second album because the message behind that is so strong. I didn't want that to be the first thing that my band was known for because it's a song about child abuse. And I didn't want Lipstick to be known as just the child abuse band. I wanted Lipstick to be known as a band, and yes, they have a song about child abuse or have songs about child abuse, but it's not just the child abuse band. Like a lot of bands are like, might fall into that category. Like Korn might fall into that category. But with Fight Back, it was basically apologize if it gets a little choked up in the neck
No,
with the nasally stuff. So as the emotions start to flow, and I use sarcasm to try and hide how emotionally involved I am.
I hear you. It was an amazing story. I mean, you sent it to me by way of email. Keep going.
So Fight Back, it's it's a cool riff rocker inspired by Billy Squier. It's a shuffle, just a cool, great riff. But lyrically, it's about my experiences dealing with child abuse. My mother's second husband was very drunk, very violent and abusive towards my mother and myself. Made sure that my sister never got hit once. I'd always hide her in a closet. So all those years of abuse, she never got hit. So that's actually one of my greatest life accomplishments, is protecting my sister. So I'm got a very, very close bond with my sister. So just that's like on my, top 10 things I've done in life. That's definitely one of them and will remain one of them, no matter how big of a venue I play, how many albums I sell, awards, whatever. That's always going to be one of the most important accomplishments of my life, is protecting my sister during those early years as much as I could.
How much younger is she?
Just 1 year.
Okay.
But she's
Very
almost like a kid to me, because I would like stay up late helping her with her homework when she was really little, and just really just almost view her almost like my own kid. And so it's like, it's my baby, and I'm just really, really protective of my baby.
Yeah.
And but as I went through all that stuff, I didn't really realize what I was going through was child abuse. Like, it didn't click. It didn't quite resonate that what I was experiencing was wrong. And so it really took just one day, just a friend of mine who I was talking with on the internet, like I was just telling him like how my day went. And then he was like, whoa, wait, what? What are you talking about? And he then explained like, no, that's like domestic violence, dude. You need to call the cops and stop that. And it was a wake-up call where I'd never realized the situation I was living in wasn't normal. Like, it didn't click that was unacceptable and wrong and not normal in society. And so I always thought to myself, if I'd have known sooner, I would have like fought back sooner, because I came with a plan with some friends of mine to get my stepdad caught in the act. And so like we had like a code word. It was a code word where if I called them on the phone, it meant get over to my place right now with some weapons, and we're going to hold them off till the cops come, because you guys live closer than the cops do. So you'll get over here fast. We'll hold them off. We'll fight them and hold them down till the cops arrive and take them off to jail. But we never ended up doing that, because eventually my mom got wind of the plan and just didn't want that media frenzy. And so she whisked us away, safely before that plan got initiated. But I always thought to myself, if I knew about that beforehand, if I had knowledge of the situation I was in, I would have gotten out of it sooner. I wouldn't have stayed as long. And so I thought to myself, how could I reach someone who's in that situation and let them know that what they're dealing with isn't right, isn't acceptable, is totally wrong? And so I wrote Fight Back as sort of a song that would reach out to those kids and say, what you're experiencing is wrong and you shouldn't have to deal with it. And I know there's it's a little bit of a controversial lyric, because the song actually encourages violence. It encourages violence against the aggressors, and I'm okay with that message. Like, Twisted Sister had some controversy for We're Not Going to Take It for inciting violence against parents. No, Twisted Sister didn't do that. I'm doing that. Yeah. I'm saying if your parents are hitting you, beat them down and call the cops. Don't let that stand. Sometimes you have to use violence. I'm all about love and peace. I've got a song called Love One Another. I'm all about forgiving people, but sometimes the only way someone's going to learn is if you beat them down.
Well, it's once you've been antagonized. I mean, you're not promoting someone to strike out at somebody.
No, I'm not promoting. I'm promoting defending yourself.
Yeah, defense, exactly.
I'm promoting not allowing yourself to be tortured, essentially. Yeah. I'm saying stand up to your aggressors, stand up to your torturers. And so I'm not encouraging like every kid is like, oh, my mom, didn't let me get the car that I want, so I'm going to, fight her. No, not that. But if you're experiencing child abuse or domestic violence, if someone's beating your mom, I think it's okay if you fight the guy and then call the cops on him. I think that's perfectly acceptable. And so Fight Back is a song that, like, most people didn't know about for a long time. Steve had no idea that I'd written it until we were asked to play a child abuse benefit concert. And then I said, all right, well, here's this song I've had for years, and brought it out to the band. And everyone was really impressed with how strong of a song it was. And there was a lot of surprise.
It's a pretty good riff.
There was a lot of, surprise from people like, why didn't you put it on the album? And I said, I wanted it to be sort of the lead off for the second album. Because the first album, if you listen to it, there's little subtle references about like child abuse and stuff. If you really dig into the lyrics, you can sort of see some of those underlying themes there, but it's not as explicit. And so it's sort of, the second album is like a little bit more open about it, where those themes are expanded upon. So it's just like, there's like the first one, this is like a sly reference here or there for a line, but with the second album, we're going to explore some new lyrical themes, like, you know, defending yourself against child abuse, and then eating tasty foods and time-traveling cats sent from the future to destroy the past.
Nice.
So, you know, we're really expanding. The thing is, none of that was a joke.
True.
But-
Those are all albums that are slated, or songs that are slated to be on the next album.
Time traveling cats.
Yeah,
Time Cat.
Yes.
Did you read that book as a kid? Time Cat?
I did not read Time Cat, but it sounds amazing.
Oh, it was a book about a Manx cat that traveled through time.
That
Man.
sounds
Yeah.
like something I
you
would love
guys
to
are
read.
talking Time Cat.
I mean, we're both really into time travel. I mean, he's got a bunch of songs about time travel. On the Lipstick album, we have a song called Merle, which is about time travel. Like, it's weird. Every band I'm in has a song about time travel.
It's true.
like, we don't have a song about, do we?
If you don't, you guys got to get
we
on
got to
it.
write one.
Travel. Time travel. Get me home.
Get me home.
time
Yeah,
travel.
That's time travel.
There you
You're
go.
right. We were supposed to do a top 6 list. You guys want to do that?
Yeah, let's do
All right,
top
sure.
6.
All right, ready? We got to first hear the little.
And then we're going to do
after
speed
such a
round
serious
too, right?
subject. Yeah, here's the first. We got to hear the jingle.
I'm doing my chair dance.
Go, man, go.
No, Greg, don't do so many backflips. It's dangerous. How are you balancing all those things on your head? He's a madman.
It's a Smith & Wesson, and you've had your 6.
Okay, tonight's top 6 list, guys, and I thought this would bring out some good comments from you, Greg and Steve. I gotta pull it up here. It came from, the Village Voice, of course.com. Village Voice, very opinionated
Are
people.
those rapscallions?
Yes, they decided to list the top 6 worst metal bands of the 80s.
Ooh.
Oh, this is going to be upsetting for me, bro.
Yes,
Ooh,
but
yeah.
I want you guys to get upset and comment back. Give your voice back to the Village Voice.
right.
Here's what number 6 was according to them. Let's hear if it's okay. Do you know this band? Turn it
Is this Anthrax?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
the
well,
man.
You know, I have mixed feelings on Anthrax. I think they're okay. I don't dislike Anthrax. There's a couple songs I like, but I'm not super into them. I wouldn't call them one of the worst metal bands there is. I think they're a solid band. I like some
I'm
of their
the
stuff
Man.
a lot. Yeah. I think they're fine.
Scott Ian has done a very good job of cultivating his media personality.
Oops. Sorry. Give you a
Spoiler
preview.
alert.
Sneak preview.
Oh, I know. I don't want to even get that one because I know that's going to be meaningful to Greg. But go ahead.
Yeah, like
Steve.
if you like,
Get mad, Greg. Get mad.
I watched
one of your idols.
I
Don't
watched
hit
a lot
anybody.
of VH1 in high school, so I've seen a lot of like Scott Ian. Just always comes off as a very nice guy who's easy to get along with.
Oh, from Anthrax?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a lot of VH1 in high school too. So he was on I Love the 80s all the time.
Yeah, he's
thought
just on
this-
everything.
He was on everything.
This list was kind of mean too. They say stay away from rap. It's just embarrassing no matter what. I mean, so right there, that's what they say. So I mean, right there, they're a little bit, you know.
I mean, I'm not
Condescending.
not super into rap, mainly for like a lot of mainstream rap. There's a lot of misogyny and violence, which is what a lot of hair bands were criticized for. But the rap artists don't get as much criticism for it, and I think that's kind of hypocritical.
That's interesting. You're right.
So
I think people are afraid to criticize the rap
yeah,
band.
and
Well, it's empowering when a woman does it.
Well, when they do misogyny.
I'm like, right, yeah, like that Nicki Minaj song. No, she's just making fun of us. That's her whole thing. She's trolling everybody. She's a genius.
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
She can misogynize me any night.
She probably has.
Sure. Did
I
she write a
got
misogynistic song?
Yeah,
I don't know, I thought we
her
did.
last song is like really like weirdly
What is it?
objectifying herself. Anaconda. It's,
I don't know.
It's Baby Got Back told from the perspective of the butt in the song.
She's got a lot of back.
Yeah, she does.
Gosh.
That's her thing.
Yes. Greg, did we cut you off? You were talking about
no,
Scott.
I don't even know what I was. I think I was sort of done.
Oh, let's go to song number 5 then, which you kind of heard the preview of. Which I know, Greg, this is going to kill you because I know this band was an influence on you. It's Poison. They say every rose has its throne. Is the song.
In my Cleveland days, I actually did a lot of Poison covers. I did this song, Every Rose Has a Thorn. I did Talk Dirty to Me. Did Nothing But a Good Time. Like I did.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
I did a lot of Poison songs. Just playing clubs in Cleveland, did a lot of Poison covers. And the thing about Poison, which a lot of people don't give them credit for, is how sincere of a band they are. All the songs that they write are like they've got a lot of heart and soul and sincerity to the stuff they write. So I think they get a lot of unfair criticism, like, oh, well, they're not that good of players and all that stuff. But honestly, they're fine. As far as rock bands go, they're not that much better or worse than the average rock band. It's just they became popular, so that's why people hate on them. But there's sincerity to the stuff they write. Like Something to Believe In, Brett wrote after one of his closest friends died, so he wrote a song about it. And so he his girlfriend broke up with him, so he wrote a song. It's just the songs are sincere. A lot of those hair bands get criticized for being corporate sellouts, but they were all kids on the strip, playing in bands, trying to make it, living on the streets, doing their best to survive. And then they get called corporate sellouts because they get signed. But then you've got all these grunge bands like, like Alice in Chains and then Pantera, even though they're a metal band, a lot of those bands start off as hair metal bands, and then as soon as hair metal became unpopular, mysteriously they switched genres. Yeah. And then they're credible artists. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's a fair criticism to say these guys are insincere artists because they got signed at a time that was beneficial for their careers, but then these guys are sincere artists even though they switched genres in order to become popular. I don't think it's a fair criticism towards the hair bands. I think there's not enough criticism towards those bands.
Good point. Mike, anyone? Steve?
I'm impressed.
I like grunge.
I'm ready
sometimes.
for number 4. You ready for number 4? Here it comes.
Speaking of Warrant.
Yeah, there they are. Warrant with Cherry. Well, that's just Cherry Pie, the sample song, but they said Warrant was number 4.
Since there's 1 degree of separation between us and Warrant, I've definitely got to defend this one.
Go for it.
I mean, on the Lipstick album, we had a guy named Billy Morris, who's a good friend of mine, known him since I was in high school. And he played guitar in Warrant and Quiet Ride and played with Paul Gilbert and Tough.
Big names, Paul Gilbert.
A bunch of great artists. And to play with Paul Gilbert, you have to have chops. You can't not have chops if you're playing with Paul Gilbert. And to have the thing about Warrant, the album, the Lipstick album, is actually dedicated to Bill Pettijohn and Janie Lane. Bill Pettijohn is a friend of mine from Cleveland who died of cancer during the recording of the album, and Janie was a good friend of Billy's, and also I met him while working on the album, and he actually loaned us his acoustic guitar to record Love One Another and parts of Merle on. So Janie was really, supportive of us. And the thing about Janie is that he was a really sincere songwriter. If you listen to his stuff, like I Saw Red, where, he found his girlfriend in bed with another guy and had a nervous breakdown, then he wrote a song about it. And you just listen to stuff like The Dog Eat Dog album, where he wrote all the music and lyrics for all these songs. And there's like German choirs and all this experimentation on it, and it sounds like Queen. And he had such craft for what he does, where if you listen to even like the unreleased stuff right before his death, songs like Saltwater, he was continually writing good songs for years and years and years. And I think, unfortunately for Janie, he just got so caught up in his one hit being a joke that he couldn't get past it. I've, prepared myself mentally for years that my big hit might be a joke. We have a song called Gotta Eat When You Can, which is a song about food that's super goofy and super fun. And
just the word chomp over and over and over in 7/4.
The chorus is just the word chomp in 7/4. But everyone who hears it loves the song and thinks it's great. And so I'm like, all right, well, that's a potential single for the next album. And Steve hasn't mentally prepared himself for his biggest song being a joke song about food. But the way I look at it is, if you have one song that people remember you for, the people who really like that song will check out your other stuff and see that you're not just that one song. So with Warrant, I knew Cherry Pie, but then I checked out their other stuff and dug into songs like Uncle Tom's Cabin and I Saw Red. And, there's a song called Andy Warhol Was Right, which is about John Lennon's killer. And there's just, there's so much depth and interesting songs in their discography. And I know that they get criticized as being a one-trick pony, but they've got so many good songs that it's really unfair criticism. I'd recommend anyone who doesn't like Warrant to check out the Dog Eat Dog album, because that is just a fantastic album. It's like Skid Row meets Queen, and just a great record.
It'd be similar to somebody thinking that It Puts the Lime in the Coconut was the only Harry Nilsson song ever written. And he wrote some great songs other than that, but it was just, if that had been his only hit.
Right.
And
or
not,
even like
Thin
Lizzy, one of the greatest bands ever, and a lot of people only know The Boys Are Back in Town.
Yeah.
But if you dig into that discography, Phil Lynott is one of the best singer-songwriters ever.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point. Anybody else? Comments?
No comment.
Man, Greg, you tore it up. I love it. Let's go to,
It's very educational.
I got to defend my Down Boys.
You got it, man. Let's go to number 3. Song number 3. See if you know this
Oh,
band.
Striper?
You know Striper, right?
I have a Striper Bible.
I
This song that's playing right now is part of my vocal exercises.
Really?
Yes.
This is To Hell with the Devil, right?
Yes.
actually maintain this dude's website.
No kidding, Steve. Did you really?
Yeah.
How did that come? Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll let Steve talk first.
Oh, he's got a solo career now, and I just do band websites. Other people sell them for me. I just maintain the back end. So
Okay.
I make it talk to the database. So it's
Oh, we do similar work during the day. I do
yeah,
similar
nice.
stuff. We'll have to talk about that later.
talk shop on Mike.
Well, we'll talk shop.
Well,
Yeah.
PHP and
About
MySQL.
database queries and all that stuff. Yeah. But Striper, you knew it right off. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Striper. I mean, I knew the name. I knew they're the Christian heavy metal band, but I didn't know much about
So
them.
here's what's funny about Striper. I heard about them on this documentary. I think it was like the 100 worst things in metal. It was like a VH1 documentary.
Like this.
Yeah, it was like this. And there were two bands that they played in that documentary that I actually thought were really awesome. There's this Japanese metal band called Loudness.
Loudness?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember Loudness.
And I thought, like, I know they're saying this band sucks, but they sound really good. And so I checked out Loudness and loved them. And then the other band they talked about that sucked was Striper. I'm like, but wait, they sound really good. And so I checked them out and loved them. The thing is, I was in high school, I wasn't just the guy who just bought into whatever I was, supposed to like. Like, all my friends were like, how come you don't like Nirvana? How come you don't like... Alice in Chains. They were and growing up, in the 90s.
And this was the 90s, yeah.
In the 90s. And
I heard about, not to cut you off, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
you're fine.
Striper and like Loudness, I heard about, I was a kid of the 80s.
Right.
And that was actually their time. So you're hearing about them even a decade after.
Yeah, even more than that, because I was, going to high school in the 2000s.
Oh, wow.
So I was born in 1990, but I graduated high school in 2008.
Wow.
So
those names are still coming up.
Yeah, but I just remember... I just thought Striper was a cool band. I thought that they actually changed a lot of my perceptions about Christian rock. I was kind of hesitant to listen to Christian rock because, South Park just made fun of it so well.
I mean,
Yeah.
that episode was really good. As somebody who grew up listening to a ton of Christian rock, has actually played a lot of Christian rock. Episode summarizes the front-facing part of the Christian music industry
There's
pretty
good
well.
money in it, too.
But just Striper,
I hear.
they were so good musically, where it completely changed my perceptions about the genre. Where now I actually listen to a ton of Christian rock all the time, but Striper was sort of the band that opened the gates for me, and they're a really good band. Michael Sweet has a great voice. He's a great player. Like he can play guitar and sing so well. Because he's writing all the riffs and he's doing a lot of the solos too. Oz Fox does solos, but he can still shred. I ran into Mark Slaughter at NAMM, who a lot of people only view as a vocalist, but he also can shred really well, and he's just an excellent player. And so that band in particular, there's a bunch of really talented musicians, and I like their stuff. I have really nothing bad to say about Striper. I mean, I caught a Bible at one of their shows and still have it. So
I like it, man. I'm
nothing
ready to
negative
tell
to
the
say.
Village Voice to go screw themselves. Let's go to
Send
Realistically-
them this interview.
Realistically, if I were going to do a top 100 worst things in metal, it would be a top 2 worst things in metal, and it would be snobby metal fans and snobby metal critics.
There you go.
Because metal is
And-
so elitist all the time. Like, oh, your metal's fake and
Your
dumb.
metal is fake.
Well, you're right, because once they get to a certain status, it's
Right.
no longer. It's almost like, and the same with punk too. If they
Yeah.
get too popular, it's no longer legit,
right.
and not.
Unless you're Mastodon somehow. They're somehow
Then
exempt.
they're okay, but no, it happens all the time. I mean, they also they get popular. I was like, oh, they're no good anymore
The
because
band sucks.
it's not cult.
Death to false metal.
Yeah,
Kind of sad that Death Clock is the best metal band around these days.
who is?
Death Clock?
I don't even know Death.
From the cartoon Metalocalypse?
I don't know it.
Oh, it's on Cartoon Network. It's a little 10-minute
Oh, I gotta
cartoons
hear
about
it.
this metal band.
It's probably on YouTube too, right?
Yeah, they're amazing.
Let's
They're-
hear number 2 on this. But I'm going to hear that. This is. See if you know this. I didn't know this band.
Is this Faster Pussycat or
No, it's a good guess though. They're called
Is it pretty-
Nitro.
Nitro? Nitro.
You know Nitro?
Oh yeah.
Song's called Freight Train. I never heard this one.
Yeah. Oh man, Nitro. Okay, so I actually met the singer from Nitro, a guy named Jim Gillette, or Gillette. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. And he used to be in a band called Tough, which was and then he was replaced by a guy
Morris was in.
which Billy Morris was in, but he wasn't at the same time as Billy. And he was replaced by this guy named Stevie Rochelle, who runs this website Metal Sludge that just like does all these great, amazing, ball-busting interviews on metal musicians. It's a fantastic website. But the thing is, Stevie can't sing as well as Jim can, and so it was definitely like a big insult and burn to Jim when he got replaced. And then Jim, he actually ended up marrying Lita Ford.
Oh yeah,
And
Lita
so
Ford.
that's how I met
Former
Jim.
Runaways.
Yeah, because I was hanging.
Ozzy's duet partner.
Somehow I ended up hanging out with Lita Ford and Jim backstage at one of their shows after they played back in Cleveland, and Jim and I did a falsetto scream together because he's the guy who can scream and break wine glasses with his scream. That was his gimmick.
Yeah.
And so that's what he would do
He
on
really
stage.
can.
Yeah, that was his thing. And so I'm like, dude, can I do a scream with you? And he did. And apparently there's some weird stuff and like talk about like how he did like weird domestic violence stuff towards Lita Ford and like was just like really abusive and stuff, and so she divorced him. And I don't know about any of that, but I'll say this, I never really listened to Nitro, so
I didn't know they were together.
I haven't really lost that much. I know that I think the drummer for Nitro used to be in Vinnie Vincent's solo band, the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. So I think Nitro was just this really ridiculous, over-the-top band. Yeah, it was like the guitar player had this guitar with 4 necks, and it was in an X shape, and he would just flip it around. And it was just, yeah, the most ridiculous, over-the-top, goofy-looking metal band.
They said robotic, and you're playing. I don't know. They come off as a joke more than a musician. So
I did, no, they're definitely, it's definitely a joke. That band, I will say, is
They
a
belong
joke.
on the list.
Like, as someone who likes hair metal, I probably enjoy listening to them, but in an ironic sense.
Yeah.
So,
Well, let's see what you think about. Here's the number 1 of the top 6 worst metal bands of the 80s. You ready?
please be Metallica. Oh, Winger?
You Winger, you
All
got
right.
right off.
So I'm actually in the latest Winger video.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get in the latest Winger video? This is great, Greg. How'd you get in there?
I'm just, all of these bands I have to defend because of personal connections. That's great.
It's awesome. I'm glad you're connected to. Oh, wait. 5 out of 6 of the. Well, this is just the Village Voice. I mean, and the Village Voice is going to be elitist, anyways. It's the Village.
The
it's
Village Voice is
Greenwich
just going to
Village,
be, if
man.
they're going to be like, oh, is it not the new Paul Simon record? It probably
No,
sucks then.
Yeah, if it's not, I mean, guaranteed, yeah, they're going to. Exact.
But Paul Simon's new record is so good.
Yeah, because you don't have exactly right, and it's only so many.
I mean, to be fair, it probably is.
It probably is.
But no, you're exactly right. There's certain artists, like, I mean, God love him. I love Tom Waits to death, but I'm sure the Village Voice could never say a bad thing about Tom Waits because he's so elite. And I do
Yeah.
love Tom.
Yeah, I love
but-
Tom too. I mean,
but-
you've got a Tom poster I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
He's staring at me with those seductive eyes.
I really preferred his early work with Mazda.
With Mazda.
Wasn't he the kid in those commercials?
Was he?
I don't know. I've heard that.
I never knew that. In Mazda commercials?
Like the old Zoom commercials. Apparently that was Tom Waits in those.
No,
That's what I'm told.
Tom Waits is amazing. His song, like as a lyricist, it's hard to top him.
He's a
great.
beautiful guy. But I mean, he's one of those guys that like a publication like the Village Voice is gonna, no matter, he could put out noise and they would say it's brilliant, it's Tom. But on the same token, Winger could put out something brilliant and they would probably give him a hell about it because it's Winger. Kip Winger.
Well, the first thing I'm going to say about Winger is that those guys are really, really, really talented musicians. They're on like prog level.
Absolutely.
Like the stuff they play, if you told the guys in Metallica to play Winger songs, they wouldn't be able to because they're too hard. Like Winger songs are stupid hard because they're all so good. I mean, Kip is a classically trained musician. There was a couple of years ago, he did a orchestral ballet that a friend of mine who went to Oberlin College, a couple of his friends who also went to the college were part of the orchestra that played his ballet that he wrote, and it was a long orchestral piece, and like he does a lot of classical stuff. He's very well trained. He's a great vocalist. I don't know him too well as a person, but he was
bass. Well, it's the bass he plays, right?
Yeah, he plays bass. But he was very cordial and nice to me when I met him, and it was fun doing the video. I'm blanking on the video is off their album. It's the title track off their new album, Better Days Coming, and it was just sort of like a fun like party atmosphere video where there's several other local musicians. Like there's members of Lady E and the Blacklight and members of the Tip in that video, and it was a fun video shoot. Kip actually let me play his bass for a little bit in the video. Nice. Got to jam on it with my mouth, which was fun. Because that's one of my stage moves in some of my other bands where I flip the bass up and play with my mouth. Yeah. And so, but he was cool. He was fun. I saw him a couple weeks ago when Alice Cooper did that hidden secret show at Dan McGuinness.
Oh, I didn't know this.
After Bridgestone Arena, he did like a short set. And we saw Alice perform there, and then Kip went up on stage for a song and did Helter Skelter, and it was super cool to
killer. I bet.
Yeah, it was great. I didn't get a chance to say hi to him there, but he did a smoking version of that. And he's just a very talented musician, very private guy though. He's very reserved, but I think they just honestly, if Beavis and Butthead picked a different band to make fun of. Yeah. Winger would have been probably remembered more fondly because if you listen to their third album, Pull, it's really heavy and really good. A lot of those hair bands, like they start off kind of light and poppy, but by the time all of them got to their third album was when they really started to get aggressive and really experimental with their sound. But unfortunately, that was around the time when the record industry was starting to shift and the records didn't have a chance to grow. But Warrant had Dog Eat Dog, Winger had Pull. Poison had a great album called Native Tongue that was very bluesy, that had Richie Kotzen on guitar, who is a phenomenal guitar player, like virtuoso level, amazing guy and fantastic vocalist. And so I think Winger is a fine band. They're not one of my favorite hair bands, but they're not terrible either.
No. This list sucks. Village Voice.
It's supposed
this
to.
List sucks.
But
Village Voice sucks.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, no, I really wanted to hear your opinions on this, just for that exact fact, to hear like a rebuttal to what they're saying, because this is kind of just some guys going, "Oh, these bands got very popular and made some money, and so we're pissed about it." You know what I mean?
And all fairness, Nitro didn't make any money.
Yeah, Nitro I didn't even know.
Nitro being on that list is actually probably okay.
Oh, but that's it. All right, we'll wrap up the top 6.
Okay, here we go.
Maybe I'll let you hear it right now.
You are number 6.
Top 6. You got a problem with sex?
Top 6, wrapping up on At the Hump.
All right, what song are we going to next? Are we going to one from Steve's albums or Lipsticks?
We're gonna do a song from Spoiler Alert, which is
that's Steve's.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's when I bought that album, and I still stand by this. I bought that album, and it was one of the best albums I've ever heard in my entire life, and I was so impressed by it, and I was blown away by how good it was. And it was so good that when I asked him to join the band, I thought he would say no because his stuff was just so good, but he thankfully said yes, and an amazing CD with great songs. The track we're going to play is Ilium.
Yep. One of the ones about time travel.
Does your band do some of his stuff?
Yes, we do. We
actually play that one sometimes.
Yeah, we play that one sometimes. What we do is we sort of we incorporate a lot of his material in, where sometimes I'll play bass and let him front the band, or sometimes I'll just walk off stage and do a costume change or get some other stage prop ready while he sings. But we do a lot of his material in the band. And so there's a lot of songs that I've written and a lot of songs that he's written and songs that we've written together. And sort of the pool of our collective material is what makes up Lipstick.
Cool.
So a lot of the stuff in the Regdar repertoire is in the Lipstick repertoire.
I love, spoiler alert's the name, and I love, as soon as I open it up, it says Soylent Green is people, and it goes through.
I had so much fun
different-
making the art of this
Bruce
album.
Willis was a ghost the whole time. I just took a picture of it. We'll try to put it in the podcast. It's brilliant.
I've got like 2 more panels of just like a car spoiler
Spoiler,
covered in all the
yeah.
spoilers I could think of.
Did you get in the Planet of the Apes one where the
It was Earth all along. I think that's on there.
I think it might be. Yeah.
we're on Earth the whole time?
Yeah. It was Earth the whole time. That is on there.
Oh. Anyways, I could look at the cover all day. Let's get to the song and let's get to the next beer and do the speed round. We'll come back with Steve Smith, Greg Troyan, and Mike Mitchell.
Hey.
Quantum physics is complicated, and senior English is hard. Put 'em together, you'll guarantee almost nobody gets the point. Then throw in the Trojan War, fought on Mars in the future. Mighty robots from Jupiter police the galaxy. Ilium, Ilium, I left my heart on Ilium, and my teleportation helmet is an Ilium. We can arrow forward in time, back to Ilium. Meanwhile, back on Earth Prime, no one knows how to read, except Odysseus, who's warning them from some monster from space. Every time that they go back to the back to tanks in the sky, there's a chance they'll be eaten by Septipos or some such guy. Ilium, Ilium, I left my heart on Ilium, and the teleportation helmet is an Ilium. We can arrow forward in time, back to Ilium. And the little green men are building Easter Island on Mars to summon some great creature from mythology. Honestly, I don't know why they would do that. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. Ilium, Ilium, I left my heart on Ilium, and the teleportation helmet is an Ilium. We can arrow forward in time, back to Ilium. Quantum physics is complicated, and senior English is hard. Put 'em together, you'll guarantee almost nobody gets the point.
Okay, we're back after hearing Ilium from. Wait, say the name, the name again. I'm sorry, Steve. Say it again.
Regdar and the Fighters.
Regdar.
Regdar.
I gotta get it down.
The G is
Regdar and
before the D.
Fighters.
That's the trick.
Regdar. See, your name's easy. Steve Smith's easy.
Yeah, right.
But Regdar.
You were all
and the
worried you were going to
Fighters.
mess that up earlier.
I know. I was afraid I was going to. Now I got Regdar and the Fighters on my mind. But Ilium, good stuff. And we were talking about, and I said it kind of reminded me of Old Velvet Underground, which is somebody who was not a big influence on you.
No, I've barely listened to Velvet Underground at all.
It's ironic how that happens. When people say, you sound like so-and-so, and you go, I don't know who that is. Or I don't listen to that person. But it happens to me even. Mike, you?
Yeah, I think it happens to a lot of people. A lot of times, you're both inspired by the same artist, so you both sound like the same.
Oh,
artist.
that's Very true. Like exactly.
Velvet Underground listened to a lot of Weird Al and Smashing Pumpkins.
They probably did.
They felt it coming.
Exactly. They were very what's the word? Prophetic. Let's get to that third beer then. Eruption Imperial Red Ale from Worthy Brewing Company out in Bend, Oregon, and it's an amber ale. We can you guys kind of go do whatever you want this time. Sniff, taste, look. Give our viewers.
Sounds like a date.
Our listeners. Actually, I never take a picture of the beer. I'm gonna take. What is a date, Mike? What was it? Sniff, scratch and sniff.
Yeah, it just sounds more like a date than
I'm
drinking.
noticing that one's darker but more transparent than the other beers.
Yeah, you're right. Darker
more
but
clear.
transparent.
That's the red. That's the.
Oh, and it definitely it smells the strongest of the three.
That's the reddest beer I've
Yeah.
ever seen. Although it's an ale.
I'm taking a picture of it. Yeah, it's got that deep red amber hue. Not deep red, but actually I should say light amber hue. It's kind of copper. How about
Yeah.
copper? Kind of bubbly. Once again, not much head on it.
No.
It's the way I pour.
Yeah, you pour it well. Amber, it's an amber ale, a red ale. We can sniff it, drink it. Another sweet,
Squeeze it.
malty, but not
Yeah.
as sweet as the Trooper, right?
No, a much more under
More
control sweet.
Balanced, yeah, under control.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew what they're talking about. I don't think they really worked hard on that Trooper ale.
They just like churned something out and said, "Hey, Bruce, can you sign this?" And was like, "Oh, that seems fine."
So we put the label on there. We're gonna sell it, right?
Whoa, so you mean someone licensed a product and didn't care if it was quality?
Yeah.
How much Kiss stuff do you have?
And in
Do you have a lot of
fairness to
Kiss
that,
stuff?
I
I'm
do,
out of taste.
but in fairness to that, I get almost all of it as gifts.
Everybody buy Greg Kiss things.
Please
he
don't.
loves them.
Please don't. I have enough. I have so much Kiss stuff, and I don't want to throw it out because it's nice. But I have so much of it. We have
Gotta keep it.
We have a storage bin in our place that's just Kiss stuff. Like
ahead.
the stuff of Kiss, I actually will buy on my own. I'll buy the albums because first and foremost, I love the music, and I'll buy DVDs, which are basically live performances of the albums.
And every format that Phantom of the Park comes out on.
I actually,
Oh my God, the movie!
oh, I love that.
You
movie.
have it on like
I actually did. I've never bought that movie, but I've gotten it as a gift multiple times.
really?
Yes.
That's a collector's. That's hard to find. I've seen it once when it was aired on TV, but I
No,
don't.
it's part of the Kissology DVD box set. So you
Oh,
can
it
just,
is.
Yeah,
It's
just,
not hard to find now.
Yeah, just get edition number 2, and it's really easy to find.
That's not our demon. I remember that.
That's not our demon. And
Yeah.
I do buy the Kiss comic books, but that's because I enjoy comic books, and so I've got a nice Batman collection, and so I'm like, all right, a Kiss comic book. I mean, it's right here in front of me, and I enjoy comics, so yeah, I'll get that. But then all the other stuff people get me, it's like all this crap. Like Kiss car liners that cover your seats so you can sit on the Love Gun album, and the Kiss trivia game, and just all this stuff. I'm just like, I don't want it. I don't want all this Kiss bobbleheads. I don't want this stuff. But people give it to me, and I can't just throw out something someone gives me for Christmas. I'm not good with that, and so I'm just like, all right, now I've got all this
It's not
Kiss stuff.
tchotchkes. Is that the word?
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Oh, I do
Yeah.
like Kiss stuffed animals because I like stuffed animals. I still have all my stuffed animals when I was a kid, and so I've got 3 Peter Criss stuffed animals for some reason. I've never actually bought a Kiss stuffed animal, but I do actually sincerely enjoy those. Those I actually enjoy. I've always gotten them as gifts. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take another Peter Criss stuffed animal. Why not?
It's very popular. He was the cat, so he makes a good stuffed animal, right?
Right. Oh, and books. I do, but
Kiss
that's
books?
yeah. There's
They had some.
Yeah,
They got some autobiographies.
They've got autobiographies,
Oh.
and there's this one book where they actually go song by song, album by album.
Okay.
And so that's good because you can read about commentary as a songwriter. So that's more just being a musician and liking to dive into the mind of musicians that you enjoy.
How many albums did Kiss do?
I could count, but that would actually take up time and be nerdy. So let's say somewhere around 30-ish albums, including proper live albums, and including important greatest hits and counting the 4 1978 solo albums. Let's say somewhere in the 30 range.
Wow.
What's amazing about Kiss, and I think the same thing about AC/DC actually, is they don't necessarily do anything new musically, yet they come up with new music.
See, that I actually will completely disagree with.
Oh,
Did
okay.
AC/DC ever do a disco album?
No, but
I'm talking about from the years 79 to 82, you had disco, followed by pop,
No, you're
followed
right.
by
You're
their
right.
progressive rock
You're right.
concept album, followed by a heavy new wave of British heavy metal album, followed by hair metal, all in that short period.
I kind of forgot about that. I kind of drifted from
and they even did a
Kiss
grunge
Alive
album.
2 all the way to Rock and Roll Circus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of missed a lot of years, I guess.
Well, you know, they even got their heavy grunge album too.
But I do find it amazing when a band can do, like some people go, oh my God, they sound the same. And I go, but you're missing the point. They're still coming up with new material, but within a limited scope. Because that's a hard to do.
Motorhead. That's the
Motorhead,
perfect
yeah,
example
Fast
of that.
Eddie Motorhead, exactly.
And Motorhead is great, and I love AC/DC. But I will say, as far as like Motorhead and AC/DC versus Kiss, for example, the reason I like Kiss and the bands that I like is because they evolve and they change. My favorite artists don't sound the same album after album. Like I love Kiss, I love Alice Cooper, I love Thin Lizzy. And if you look at their discographies, they evolve so much.
Right.
And change so much album to album. And to me, that's far more exciting than doing the same thing over and over again. So if you listen to the Lipstick album, there's songs that, you know, kind of sound like Meatloaf, and there's acoustic stuff. And it's not, you know, they all sound like Lipstick, but there's some sonic experimentation, because I get bored if everything sounds the same. I love my straightforward hard rock, but I like a little bit more variety than that. The bands I enjoy most are the bands that have variety in their discography. Or Jim Steinman.
Or Jim Steinman.
Or Jim Steinman.
Steve, tell us a little bit about that song we heard, Ilium, and some of the influence behind that.
So it's from Spoiler Alert, which is a concept album where the concept is every song is a summary of some other work of fiction, ranging from like series of books that I absolutely love, like Roger Zelazny's Chronicles of Amber, to movies like Fight Club, to video games like Tomb Raider. And that one is based on Dan Simmons' Ilium, which is a 600-page tiny font paperback that had a follow-up novel, and I read them both, and I didn't understand any of what was going on.
But you still like
through all 1,200 pages. It was just like the Greek gods are on Olympus Mons instead of Olympus, and they're on Mars, and they've summoned a bunch of historians from the past so that they can send them even further into the past to watch the Trojan War and make sure things happen the way they're supposed to. And then there's these mining robots on Jupiter who notice all of this quantum teleportation happening on Mars, and they get nervous, and so they spend half of the book slingshotting themselves from Jupiter to Mars so they can check it out, and they find these little green men building an Easter Island kind of thing. And then meanwhile on Earth, there's somehow Odysseus is there, and he's the only one on the planet who can read in this, post-scarcity, decadent society, and he's trying to warn them all that no, and a terrible apocalypse is coming, and eventually the Trojans or the Greeks team up to attack the gods on Mars, and it's just...
Is this all in your song?
Most of it.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to it again.
I just sort of touch up on, it's not going to
Everybody's
shed
gonna
any light
rewind
on
it.
anything. I have no idea what the book was about.
But you made it through. Because Mike and I have talked often about William Burroughs' Naked Lunch, and I've never made it through. I've tried to read it twice, and it makes so little sense that each time I've just finally said, I'm done. I don't know if you ever tried to read that one.
I haven't.
That's how I am with a lot of like Tom Robbins stuff.
Same thing.
I'm just like, what are you doing here? Why is this happening?
Yeah. Well, I guess William Burroughs too. Like a lot of it was supposed to be out of like sequence, right, Mike? Didn't he
I mean,
he
would cut strips of paper and then put them back together. And,
like
and
take
it
the
was supposed
story
to make
and
sense.
And who also
Which inspired a lot of Beatles stuff.
And David Bowie too. But I like Bowie and Beatles. But that no, Naked Lunch. I mean, I've tried twice to get through it, and
Did you at least get as far as Steely Dan?
what do you mean?
Isn't Steely Dan from that book?
And Burroughs.
is
William
it
Burroughs.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I had no
Yeah,
I think
idea,
so.
Steve.
Yeah.
So Steely Dan comes out of Naked Lunch. I didn't make
Yeah.
it to that.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, it
I
did.
haven't read it, but that's what I'm told.
Yeah, it did.
Wow, man, learn all kinds of new stuff today. You guys ready for the speed round?
Oh,
wait,
yeah, sure.
what do you think of this beer so far? But actually, before we get to that, we haven't really talked about the taste.
This one's good. I like it.
This has been I don't want to rate it yet, but it's been the best consistent one so far.
Yeah, it tastes
Bitter.
somewhere between.
It's very bitter.
Yeah, it tastes somewhere between like an IPA and a red ale.
I think you're exactly right. I think for the fans of IPAs and like an amber ale, red ale, it's gonna make them both pretty happy.
So it's kind of
Pretty
like
hoppy.
Red Hoptober, Fat Tires
It's a
seasonal.
hunt for Red October.
Yeah, from Fat Tires seasonal last year. It tastes a
Oh,
lot like that.
was their seasonal.
But I think it's better. Like Red Hoptober had the weird like graininess that all Fat Tires tend to have, and this one does not.
I forgot they had. Mike, you had some Fat Tire tonight.
Yes. I like Fat Tire.
All
I
right,
like
let's-
all those Belgian beers.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Those
They-
Belgians.
Everything Fat Tire does has this weird after like I want to describe it as grainy, even though that doesn't make any sense. But it's this
No.
weird aftertaste that they all have in common.
I know what you mean.
It's a little distracting, but they're pretty
a lot of
good.
breweries like that. I get the same thing about I don't know, Rogue ales. There's something about them I've never quite.
They
liked
make
anymore.
awesome root beer.
They
Just
make-
toss
they
that
make
out
good root beer, though?
as the straight edge guy in the room. I really enjoy Rogue.
I like root beer.
They
Oh,
also
it's
make
fine.
they also make an excellent float.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you go to Rogue's Brewery,
They do, huh?
You can go to they have a restaurant. You can buy a burger, and they do a beer float.
Wow.
Oh, we got to get there. I got to be turned
A
around.
beer float.
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
To be honest, I tried it before I actually had developed a taste for beer, so I didn't really enjoy it. And I was like, the ice cream bits are good, but
I don't think I would like it, actually.
I might just go grab some ice cream now.
yeah,
throw
yeah,
it in this.
you have to use like a
A
stout
root
kind of
beer float I like.
thing. You have to use a breakfast beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, one of those grainy or oatmeal. Let's hit the speed round. Oh, I just lost the. Oh, there we go. All right, Mike. Not Mike. You don't get to answer these. Greg and Steve get to answer these 10 personal questions. We're going to put on the timer, see if you can do it under 3 minutes.
Now, is it going to be 10 for him, 10 for me, or are we both answering?
You both answer.
All
You
right.
decide who goes first.
Are we alternating?
No, I mean, I'm just going to ask the question. You guys, whoever wants to go first.
Like Jeopardy
at the
style,
same
just
question.
buzz in.
Yeah.
And
How about this?
No, you both answer it.
Each
I
question.
like that Jeopardy style, though.
Each question.
And that's what it is.
All right,
Do-
each question,
do a
I'll go
quick
first,
draw.
then you go second.
All
Do
right.
a quick draw. Who can do it quickest?
Oh, yeah, I like that too. But you ready? I'm going to put on the timer. We're going to give you like 3 minutes, but you can take us. And if you win, you get nothing.
All right.
All right.
More beer.
More beer. Yeah, we're going to. Wait, where's my timer? Damn it. Mike, where is it? Thank you very much. That does sound right. All right, we'll cut this out where I'm looking for it. Oh, here you go. All right, you ready?
Editing.
3, 2, here we go. There we go. All right, what movie or TV show do you take guilty pleasure in watching?
None. I have no guilty pleasures. Since I will admit everything that I like.
Steve.
Shoot, I don't watch too much stuff anymore. I just don't have time. What movies and TV shows do I watch? I love Princess Bride. Maybe that's some people.
Oh, that's
some
a
people
good
think it's
one.
kind of girly. I don't know. That's a good
Nah.
one.
Name your favorite childhood story.
The Balloon Tree.
That's good.
Love You Forever.
Sure, that sounds good. If you've been asked to write an autobiography, what do you title it?
The unauthorized autobiography of Stephen Smith.
Man, what would I title it?
You should also name yours The Unauthorized Autobiography of Stephen Smith.
I was going to say that.
Wait, no, the unauthorized autobiography of Stephen Smith 2, Electric Boogaloo.
There you go. Even better. If you can have only one outfit in your wardrobe, you can have more than one copy. What outfit would that be?
My lipstick stage outfit. That's not even.
Oh, we need a picture of that.
I guess probably jeans and a band shirt and a plaid and a flat cap made by my mom.
Kind of like we wear now.
What,
your mom
why
made that?
exactly? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. What do you prefer, sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
I honestly haven't seen a sunrise in so long. So I guess I'm usually indoors for both. The warm glow of a computer screen.
Doesn't matter. If you were going to give yourself a nickname, what would it be?
I would go with PH Ladyfingers.
There you go.
PH.
I would
What's
go
the
with
PH?
Glam Rock Greg.
PH Ladyfingers?
Yes.
Wait, Are you giving Steve the nickname?
No, that's
Are you giving yourself?
I took Steve's nickname. He took mine.
Oh.
Glam Rock Greg was an old nickname from Cleveland. PH Ladyfingers is his nickname in another band he's in.
Oh, that's PH, isn't it?
I'm Stephen with a PH, and we've already got a Stephen with a V. And I once described my fingers as short and stumpy.
We're doing a lot of explanation for this.
No,
Yeah,
it's
this is
okay.
not very speedy.
We got time. We got 56 seconds. All right. You've been granted the ability to have one superpower. What would you choose?
Flight.
Omnipotence.
What's? Oh, I didn't even know that was a power. Complete the sentence. If I were an animal, I would be a
Bear.
Delicious.
Hollywood wants to make a movie about your life. Who would you choose? Oh, what would you choose for the theme song?
Theme song would be I Like the Way I Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, can you choose your own song as a theme
Yeah,
song?
I just
Greg
did.
That's
It's a lip sync
vague.
song. People should go watch the video on YouTube.
If it's my
put a
life,
link
it's
to
going
it.
to be a music autobiography movie. So, I mean, duh.
That's
You got 20
that's
seconds.
true.
You're good.
Dancing Queen by ABBA, just with the word Queen replaced by Steve.
I love it. Dancing Queen, you made it.
Yes, go team.
11 seconds left.
That was quite impressive.
That was
Two
awesome.
Even
people.
with additional explanation, we made it.
So much
Wait,
extrapolation.
I did want to ask about the nicknames. The PH, now I realize because Steve with a PH.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I hear PH, I always think pubic hair. Because
I had not even considered that until now.
I'll tell you why. I
You
think
got
I
to
heard,
eat when you can, right?
yeah, you got to eat when you can. I think, and I'm
I
not.
don't think you should eat pubic hair.
Don't. I'm not saying that against your name, but I had a friend. Or it was a friend or a comedian or something I heard talking about what they thought pH balance meant on shampoo, and they thought it was stood for pubic hair.
So your friend's not very smart, right?
No. And you know how, with therapists, whenever you say a friend, it's really you.
But his nether regions are pristine.
Always shampooed, because it was pH balance, the shampoo. So whenever I hear pH now, that's all I think about is. So, but that
just makes my nickname sound even grosser.
pH Ladyfingers.
Ladyfingers itself was already a little bit questionable,
PH
and then you had that.
Yes, we made the explicit rating once again, Mike.
Good for us.
We were keeping it clean for a while, but then just pH Ladyfingers.
pH Ladyfingers.
I mean, you literally have beer on your show. Doesn't that automatically get you the?
Yeah, we
the
try to
top
we put it
21
explicit.
plus.
We've had a few shows that I don't think anyone said any bad words tonight, right? Not one F-bomb dropped.
You want me to?
Sure. We always
Not
label
one
it.
darn tootin' curse word.
We always label the show as explicit because it is over 21. But
Yeah, but Lipstick's a classy band. We, you know,
but
you don't use the F-bomb unless it's in snake vomit.
It's true.
Then all bets are off.
Then there's a lot of swearing.
So,
and snake vomit has a lot.
where did you get the name Snake Vomit? Where'd
Yeah.
that come from?
I was just walking around one day and the name popped into my head. I'm like, oh man, that'd be a great name for a terrible punk band. I hope that band exists someday.
The upshot is it's really easy to name your albums. You just go to Google and type Snake Vomit, and then whatever it autofills is your album title.
Like I think our next
Our next
album
album's going to be
is
called An Entire Cow.
yeah, an entire cow, because snake vomits an entire cow.
I like it. All right, you guys ready to judge all three of these beers that we had tonight?
Yeah.
Greg, you can
Yeah.
help judge even though you didn't.
They all fail.
Let's hear a word from our sponsor, and then we'll go judge all three beers. Hey folks, are you a musician or a band looking to get the best quality recording of your music at the lowest rates in town? Then you should go to the recording studio of choice for so many great artists, including myself, Chaz E., and Mike Mitchell from At the Hops. That's Audion Recording Studios. As a special exclusive too, Audion Recording Studio will offer all At the Hops listeners 10% off of their first session. That'll make your next album or demo absolutely affordable. For more information, please call 615-667-1080 or go to www.audionrecording.com, AUDION recording.com. All right, and now we're back to judge all three beers that we had tonight. Greg, you can even help us judge them, even though you didn't taste them. Right?
Right.
Or did you?
That's true.
Well, Cyclops is named after one of the less interesting X-Men, and
Did
so
he
I
have the hot girlfriend, though?
he did have the hot girlfriend, but also the hot girlfriend went insane. So,
She does?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Phoenix.
I only know it from the first movie.
Yeah, the Dark Phoenix saga. Yeah, she totally just goes insane.
So if the beer was named Phoenix, then you get some points there.
Right.
Really?
I'm gonna say the beers went progressively stronger in smell. So Eruption had the strongest smell of the bunch.
Oh, I'm gonna hit them all.
You want some more?
Sure, thanks.
Yeah, you can have more. There's more left. And hold on, I'm getting them all in order here. Where the hell? I lost my first taste. I have a sheet for each beer, and I lost the first one.
But Trooper does have the coolest bottle.
It's true.
Yeah, Trooper's got. Oh, here's Trooper right here.
It's the reddest beer in the world.
All right, let's do all three of these beers. And now, of course, we judge them on a scale that's kind of a musician scale. They're either it's a hit, close enough for rock and roll, or don't quit your day job. Beer number 1. Are you ready? Beer number 1. And here we go. First beer we had from Robinsons Brewery.
Love the music.
Thank you.
Right.
It's called the Trooper. From Stockport, Cheshire in England. It was an extra special strong bitter. Steve Smith and Greg Troyan. Did you think it's a hit close enough for rock and roll or don't quit your day job?
Greg, you can go first.
I'm gonna say don't quit your day job for all beer. So I don't think I'm fair in this.
What do you think, Steve?
I think I'm going to give that one a don't quit your day job. It's okay, but it tends to be. I think when they were selling it, it's like a $10 a bottle kind of thing. It's not worth the licensing cost.
You're exactly right. The cost of that beer is not worth what it tastes.
For like a $4 beer, yeah, it'd be all right. I'd do that.
I think you're right. If I got that like at a baseball game for a couple bucks, there's no beer.
No, if you got it at a baseball game, it'd still be $10. It'd be a $15 beer at a baseball game.
Where did you get that?
Out at Craft Brewed Nashville, great store here in Nashville. But I did get it. I saw it and I thought Greg, and not because I think of you as a big Iron Maiden fan, because it's 80s rock.
Right.
And I think of you as an 80s rock fan.
I mean, I am a big Iron Maiden fan. I know the entire discography really well.
Yeah.
I even enjoy stuff like, Virtual 11 with songs like Future.
Virtual 11.
Yeah, see, exactly. Where the singer from Wolfsbane was on those albums, and I'm now blanking on his name. But, I even enjoyed those albums when no one else did. I'm blanking on his name, and I never blank on names, but they've got a really solid discography. I really enjoy Iron Maiden.
Yeah, good band, great band.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think of this beer?
I'm going to say don't quit your day job,
Man, you could double that. There, kind of doubled. Yeah, it kind of fell flat. That was all I could say about it. Let's go to the second one then. This one comes from Cascade Lakes Brewing Company.
You guys may want to add this to your show. This
song.
Cyclops.
Song is pretty great.
IPA.
Also Blaze Bailey. I remembered his name.
Oh, Blaze Bailey. That's
Blaze
it.
Bailey.
You got it. I remember it now. This is an American IPA, and it was from, Cascade Lakes Brewing in Redmond, Oregon. The Cyclops IPA. Steve Smith and Greg Troyan. Close enough for rock and roll. It's a hit. Or don't quit your day job.
I'm gonna give that one it's a hit. It's a beer that tastes wrathful and angry at me, and I like that.
Mike, what did you think of that one?
I'm going to have to go with don't quit your day job.
Oh,
I didn't like it much. I missed. It had for me the bitterness, but it didn't have that sort of. It lost the malt and it lost the alcohol bite.
I thought it was too bitter, actually.
Yeah.
I just like that Shodan are booing beer that they have in the beginning stage of this.
No, they're totally cheering.
Yeah, some people thought they were cheering. You can't tell with kids. That's why, That's
Kids don't know what they want.
No, that's why he acts like Barney do so well. They don't know if they're booing or cheering.
I mean, it's those young kids we were talking about buying beer before earlier.
Yeah, it's the same
They're just
one.
excited to be drinking. My parents say I'm not allowed to do this. Yay!
Yeah, that's true. I remember my first beer. It was awful, but I didn't tell anyone.
I was going to say, by the way, the Trooper from Beer Advocate only got a 78, which is okay. And this one got a 79, which is just okay, Cyclops. So both of them just okay. But I mean, I actually think, Steve, the reason he thought it's a hit because Trooper was so weak.
Oh, maybe.
You know what I mean? I think it's comparable.
It didn't fool me.
Just all that sugar having something with, to rinse it out.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
Let's go to that third beer. Eruption Imperial Red Ale from Worthy Brewing Company in Bend, Oregon. It's an amber ale, red ale. What did you think? It's a hit, close enough for rock and roll, or don't quit your day job, Mr. Steve Smith and Greg Troyan?
Greg?
It's gonna be don't quit your day job. I just don't
Do it
enjoy
for everyone.
the taste of alcohol, but I will say there is one beer I do actually enjoy. I do actually enjoy the taste of Guinness.
Oh, I like Guinness
So
too, yeah.
I do enjoy darker
good
beers,
stout.
but I don't enjoy
Good
it enough
breakfast
to drink on a
Yeah.
regular basis. But if someone's like, "Do you want a sip?" I might take a sip of Guinness.
Throw a little espresso in it.
Well,
I
if
do
we
that.
had known, we would have had some.
Yeah.
I mean,
I might have some.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
That's whenever I try to get my parents to try beer, I always end up giving my dad some kind of Java stout or
Yeah.
Java porter, and he's like, "If you put some cream and sugar in this, and it'd be really good."
There's a place in Washington that got me into doing that. It's called Tryst. It's in D.C. and Adams Morgan. They always throw a shot of espresso into like a Guinness. They call it's an Irish alarm clock. They call it.
Nice.
It's a good drink. Yeah, I like it. What'd you think of that beer though? It's a hit, close enough for rock and roll, or don't quit your day job?
See, all right, full disclosure, I'm kind of a gourmand about a lot of things, so
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna call it. It's a hit. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right.
but
It's a hit.
I'm probably not a great judge of these things.
No,
I-
I got an 85 very good from Beer Advocate. What about you, Mike?
I'm going to have to say, and I hate to do it, but I'm saying again, don't quit your day job.
man.
Man, this is a rough week.
It's the first time
crowd.
I've ever had 3 of those.
I'm close. I'm gonna say this one just because I haven't heard the soundbite and I love it. Close enough for. Yes. I just
Worth
wanted to
it.
hear it, man. I haven't heard it all week.
Can we just have that play
That's
on
Mick
loop
Jagger.
in
That's
the
Mick
background of
Jagger.
our shows? Just nonstop loop in the
Thank you,
background of our
Greg.
shows.
See, Greg's the first person, and I think that loves that soundbite as much as I do.
So if you'd known that was the soundbite, would you have changed your vote on one of them earlier?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would have
Across
said,
the board.
Across the board.
So wait, Greg, each beer was what?
Do
Close
it one
enough for
more
rock and
time.
roll.
Fucking the best.
Oh, there's our curse word.
There's our
Oh yeah, I
five.
finally said it.
Do you have a noise to trigger for that? And like, oh, somebody said the word of the
no.
day.
Secret word.
Secret word.
No, we got a bunch of Mike Mitchell's
Oh, God.
famous expressions like this. Let's see. You want to hear some?
Absolutely.
Where don't we used to have a whole song of Mike?
I think I erased them.
You did? Did you kill him? Let me see if I still have it, Mike.
I wonder how much of my straight edge street cred I've lost with this interview. He
Yes.
just admitted he would
Here we
drink
go.
beer under certain circumstances.
I'm a honky tonk girl. That's what I was going to say. I want to feel a Mexican. You can drink beer all day and do a lot of things. If we're talking confidently, I don't play any. Everybody have happy tonight. No, I was talking to you. You never do anything I like on this show. Sexual. I'm very bubbly. You're very bubbly. You're a bubbly dude. You know that? Get that son
This
of
needs to be a
bitch out of my
soundboard
way.
somewhere.
I'm trying Kick your damn legs, boy.
The soundboard is right
Booty
there.
here to stay.
Needs to be on Ebon's World.
Time.
there. The last one was my daughter. Sorry. That's all Mike.
I liked her the
we used
best.
to have a whole song with you doing stuff. I don't know what I did with it. We used to have it like a whole
Man, you plug those into a sampler, you can build a song out of it.
Yeah, well, we had something though, Steve. It was like I can't remember what I've done with it, but we had a whole Mike Mitchell song because Mike always says all the funny stuff on the show. He's the funny guy. I just kind of hang out here and
Steve
talk.
took my job tonight. I
I'm
thought
sorry.
he did a great job.
Yeah. I'll look one more place, but I guess it's not here. That's okay, guys. Where can we find you online?
You can find us. Lipstick is on lipstickgeneration.com. Can be found on Facebook at facebook.com/lipstickgeneration. You can tweet us at Mr. Cool Rock and Roll. Mr. Cool is
Like
our
it.
mascot. Steve's solo project, Regdar And The Fighters, can be found at regdarandthefighters.com. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to find us.
Good luck spelling that.
Regdar.
Regdar.
Nice, right?
Yep.
Guys, can't thank you guys enough for being here tonight.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much.
Great
Oh,
show. Enjoyed
Oh, wait,
it.
also
Yeah.
snakevomit.com.
Oh, Snake Vomit. Don't forget.
.com.
Fucking love it. Love it. Love it. Love you guys. We'll be back next week with more beer, more artists.
Do we have a guest for next week?
I forgot who's next week. I don't want to open up I can open up the calendar.
Oh, that's
It's
okay.
actually Kip Winger.
Kip Winger next week, folks.
All 6 of the worst metal bands, according to
That would be awesome.
What was it?
to have
That'd be-
all-
that'd be
Daily
great.
Mail, Village Voice, something?
Although that would probably be awkward with the negative stuff I said about Nitro, because they were like, "Where's that Troyan boy?"
Well, if they beat up on Lita Ford, come on.
Yeah, just like-
Well, I'll take
Yeah,
it.
that is a good way to get yourself in a lot of people's bad
come
lists.
on.
You
Yeah.
beat up
Likes
Lita Ford? Get out of here.
Yeah.
She's nice. She can play.
Yeah, she's great,
She's one of the original Runaways. Come on.
right?
I think Mike Stovall's next, but I don't know. Man, I'm so bad with the calendar lately. Greg's a witness to that. You're a witness to that, Mike.
Yes, I am.
So don't worry. We'll have a guest next week. Join us for more beer and more music on At the Hops. Cheers, guys.
.com.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to At the Hops. Don't forget to leave us feedback and visit us regularly at www.atthehops.com. All songs performed on this program are the property of the artist. Use of these songs without the artist's consent is prohibited. See you next round.
Because I like the taste of imported beer, and I like the kind they brew right here. Because I'm very open-minded, that's the way I've been reared, and I want to have a great, great day.